introduce the next commentators here. We'll be seeing Alec K47 and Musical Daredevil commentating for Morrowind, and we'll just get the show on the road here.
Takes place. Dark elves are the native race here.
And we've been sent under mysterious circumstances, freed from prison, and we are about to be released and off to the census office in the small town of Saint-Denis.
Right, so the first thing that's going to happen is he's going to try to get around this guard. They're both going to try to get around this guard once they start. So that's actually pretty tricky.
Probably the hardest trick in the entire run, right off the bat here.
So let's pay attention to that once we get started. In the meantime, I think we are all set.
So we have a quick countdown here. And here we go.
So let's pay attention to whether they get around the guard. Looks like Firefly did, and looks like Chops' scream just hung for me, so I'm going to have to refresh
Yeah,
that.
I'm not seeing anything here either on this one. However, Firefly has indeed started with character creation. One quick trick you'll see there is that the place that your mouse ends up in these character creation screens is actually dependent on where your mouse is when you're outside of them.
Okay, looks like Chops did get around the guard. They went with Red Guard as the race because of the stats and the ability Adrenaline Rush that it gets. Those will be important in the early game, less so later because, well, this is a Bethesda game and it has glitches. Agent is picked as the class because pretty much it gives you what you need in addition to the fact that Speechcraft or Mercantile, specifically in this game, is in class, which is going to allow them to level up to level 3, which is required for a couple of the quests that they're going to have to do as part of the main quest line. And then, well-known trick here, stealing that platter, dropping it immediately, and picking it up means you can get a bunch of money early in the game.
And just after character creation, we already see the Todd squad in just a few second lead here, but the Tall Snakes are just a touch behind.
Right, and you can see they're picking up that ring, and that's for an opinion boost with this first merchant here. Basically, the more a merchant likes you, the better prices they will give you. And they did have to talk to the guy there to start the main quest line.
And we are already a few minutes into this relay race, and we already have our first crash.
Oh boy.
What a wonderful Bethesda relay we have here.
How appropriate.
Well, it looks like Todd Squad is being nice here and waiting on the pause screen. Sorry. Goodness.
Yes, this game is stable except when it isn't. So, yeah. Any of you familiar with Bethesda's games should know about how it goes.
So what you saw the Todd Squad there do is purchase a few things in Saint-Denis, and they are going to be using those at the very early part of this particular run in order to warp to another town just a few minutes. Right now, we're just kind of running out to the middle of nowhere. We're going to meet up with a rather unfortunate mage whose experiment went a bit unplanned.
The fortunate thing for us is that we can use some of the scrolls that he made to travel very long distances very quickly. And that's going to allow us to get to a specific weapon that you get later on in the game. But first, they're going to do a few other things. Specifically going to Balmora using one of those scrolls that they grabbed from the merchant, and get a few potions of Mark and Recall, as well as they also got a scroll of Ondusi's Unhinging and a lockpick. The lockpick is going to be more useful later on after some glitching.
This is what we like to call the flight simulator portion of the run. It looks like the Tunnel Snakes have taken the lead and are the first to make it to Odersal.
Odersal is where the weapon Keening is. Normally you wouldn't be able to equip it or use it, but because of a glitch that's in the 1.0 version of the game only, he's going to, along with grabbing a Dwemer Halberd in here. Looks like he got a good jump as well. You want to get right up to there. If you fall short, then it's slow because you have to climb up. The Dwarven Halberd is actually going to be very important. It's going to be used a lot, not just for this weapon swapping trick that he's using right now. You can see he's going really, really fast all of a sudden. That's because when you switch weapons too quickly, like they do when they have the weapon swapping bound to the mouse wheel, then you pretty much... the game doesn't always recognize when it should remove the buffs that these weapons give you, so they're going to be using Sunder and Keening to stack a whole bunch of speed, luck, and strength on their characters.
It looks like the Tunnel Snakes got a little bit lost on the way to our next quest item, which gave Pod Squad a bit of a chance to catch up.
Right. It's also very easy to clip out of bounds when you're this fast, as you can see. So it's not super hard to begin with, but when you're this fast...
Physics just don't matter.
Yeah, it pretty much doesn't. Levitation is actually also very important here, not just because it allows you to fly, but because if you're on the ground, not only are things blocking you, but you're probably going to get shot up into the air and take falling damage a lot of the time.
And that's not very nice. So here we are exploiting a few of the buying and selling mechanics of the game in order to boost our stats, help get us up to level 3, and also get a ton of gold in the process. Well, I guess not a ton. 800. That's quite a bit, though.
Yeah, so right now what they're going to do, after buying some more things for basically nothing, to raise their speechcraft, is they're then going to sell something for all the money, which is the money that they're going to need for the rest of the run. This is possible because of that luck stats stacking, like I mentioned earlier. Basically, luck affects everything you do in a small way, but when you have a couple thousand of it, and the game only expects you to have like 100, things break rather hard.
And you can buy and sell items for all of the gold in merchant's inventory, or 0 gold, depending on what you feel like doing.
The next thing is... Okay, go ahead.
I was just about to say what you're going to say. Next thing is we're going to buy 1 Crick Skull and Sadanin, and then we're going to go off to get some more quest items.
Including a rather unfortunate event for another merchant near here, which is going to result in that merchant dying because she has expensive clothes, and you need expensive clothes for a quest later on.
So now the Tunnel Snakes have met Caius, who is one of the main quest givers at the very start of Morrowind's main quest.
We make a special trip.
It seems that the Pod Squad has just completed buying all of the Mark and Recall potions they're going to need. So now we have the puzzle box, which is the final of some of these first few beginning items. Unfortunately, it looks like the Tunnel Snakes have fallen into the river. That's very unfortunate, kind of annoying to get out of in the middle of a run. But here we are to turn in those quests for the items we just got.
Then a little bit more trickery here. Need to buy some stuff from this woman, and then and just kill her and take more stuff. You get away with it because as long as you're sneaking with the luck stat you have, you're pretty much guaranteed going to be undetected. Better
You
luck
just have
than
to
good.
crouch a little bit, and it doesn't really count.
Yeah, so this is literally better lucky than good, the speed run, although it helps to be good.
So that we've turned in these first few quests, we are off to the great city of Vivek, where we are going to get some more information on what exactly it is that we are trying to do with the rest of the plot. These first few quests are mostly centered around gathering information, and we are in the midst of doing that with some of these smaller fetch quests.
One of the fortunate things about this game and the way it's programmed is that Bethesda knew that you would often be able to do things out of order. So most of the time the game handles that all right. So some of the stuff that they've been doing, like what they did after they got Sunder, they went and got a bow, but that is not important until significantly later. You do not even have access to that quest yet, but if you have it already, then awesome. You already have it.
And this was what allowed us to essentially fly all the way to the end of the game, pick up 2 of the items you're not supposed to get until the very last quest, and just use them everywhere else to get super fast. Here we have the final person who's supposed to give us information, but first we're going to steal a book because she's going to recommend we get that book, and there it is. It looks like Tunnel Snakes got slowed down by some fall damage there, but it seems like they are quite a bit ahead of the Todd Squad, who is still currently in the middle of the Informant quest.
Yeah, fall damage is something that when you're not levitating happens all the time at this speed, and just kind of getting shot up into the air by the geometry and having to kind of float down effectively as the game realizes, oh, you're in the air.
Even godlike stats can't save you from fall damage, unfortunately. So Alake mentioned that bow we got earlier on. This is part of the quest where we turn that in, and we get more information, but we actually managed to progress the plot, as these are some of the people who are responsible for doing that.
Right. One of the things that you have to do in this game is basically be named the Naravarine. And in order to fulfill the Naravarine prophecy, you have to be acknowledged as the Naravarine by all these Ashlander clans. You have to be named Hortator by the major houses in the more civilized area of Vardenfell. And you have to do a few other things that we'll get to later. This is the start of the being recognized as the Naravarine and learning about the Naravarine prophecies.
And this is the cavern where you learn all of that.
Right. So this isn't something that you know you're supposed to do until later, but you can do it now. So they're going to do it now. This Shrine of Azura only opens at dawn and dusk. So inside the Cavern of the Incarnate, basically, they're going to get some fancy pants and basically finish a quest. The fancy pants are awesome. They glow. They're shiny.
And they also make you fly.
Yeah, they have a levitate spell on them, which is very useful.
So the Tunnel Snakes have made it to another Ashlander camp, where they are looking to be named Naravarine, as Alake said. This particular one has kill a vampire, and there is a second part of this that will come a bit later. Now we are taking care of part of the Hortator quest, where you need to have all counselors vote for you as Hortator, or you can just kill them, and their vote doesn't matter.
Right. So killing things from out of bounds while sneaking is a very effective way to do this. You get sneak attack damage with this bow that you had to get for the Ashlander quest, and the Ursulaku specifically. And That's obviously a fast way to do it, because you can clip out of bounds right away, and then you can just levitate right back to the door and leave after you kill them.
So we are on yet another Ashlander camp. This one is a bit of an escort quest where we have to escort the wise woman who names us Nervarine to, quote, a safe space, unquote. Since we're speedrunners, making the place they're supposed to go to safe kind of takes a while, so we're just going to skip all that, lead her there. She's somehow going to be convinced it's safe, and then we get to be named Nervarine.
Right. Basically, you just have to get her to a specific place, and that's it. You don't have to clear out all the data that are in there. So what he's doing, this spell is abusing a different glitch called the Soul Trap glitch. What he's doing is he's applying a Soul Trap effect to something that gives a buff. And that is buffing the speed and luck of the character that he's escorting to very high levels. That's going to allow her to follow him much faster. The water walking is something she already has herself.
And it looks like Todd Squad has caught up. Goodness, that's difficult to say, as they are hot on their heels with the same escort quest.
The luck, of course, is so that she is more likely to survive in this area if one of the Daedra decides to attack her.
So now we're going to take care of another one of the great houses. This is House Redoran, centered in Aldrun. So the start of this quest involves you rescuing the son of one of the counselors who is looking to vote for you, and that will help him curry favor with all the other counselors, except for one, unfortunately, but we'll get to that later.
Right. Redoran has you do more running around than any other of the great houses to begin with, and just the fact that what was I going to say? Oh yeah, Telvanni would be longer if you weren't able to skip so much of it by just killing everyone.
Yeah, certainly, you have to listen to some mages ramble on for hours about boxes and spiders, and it just takes too long. We just get it done with.
Although that is, admittedly, a funny dialogue.
Admittedly, but it's just not fast, and we can't have that.
Of course not.
Yes, indeed. Redoran, you do have to go through with it. Killing that counselor who's the one exception, that's just dishonorable. You can't do that, even though you do it in all the other great houses. So we are eventually, after we are finished with all the other counselors, going to be challenging him to a duel to the death in the arena in Vivek.
Unfortunately, you can't kill him there because the Redoran are big on honor, and so if you kill him there, suddenly everyone turns against you.
So now we're going to head backwards in what is supposed to be the regular main quest timeline, and we're going to go investigate a base far on the outskirts of the island of Vardenfell, where it seems that the big baddies of Morrowind have established a base, and Caius wants us to go investigate.
This is, of course, part of the main Nerevarine prophecy, because by doing this, you go in there and you kill one of the Dagoths, which are immortal vampires bound to Dagoth-Ur, and in so doing, you get cursed with the Corpus disease. One of the parts of the prophecy is that you will survive it and become immune to disease, and so that's the next main thing that they're going to be doing, is that general quest line, with a couple little things along the way, because they're on the way to where he needs to go next.
In Corpus disease, it's deformed pretty much everyone else who's gotten it. The cure for it has killed everyone else who's gotten it. But we already happen to know we're the Nerevarine because we skipped way ahead, so everything is good to go, and we can just take care of those quests. Looks like the Telesnake's got a little bit stuck on the way to the Silt Strider.
Yeah, I have to admit, it does look a lot like no-clip. It's really this easy to clip out of bounds in this game when you're that fast. Try it if you want. It's stupid easy.
I know Todd Squad has definitely caught up, as they have now taken the lead ahead of the Tunnel Snakes at the Arabendum camp.
Right. This one is actually meant to be violent because there are a bunch of warmongers, and then there's a peaceful person who's like, you know, if you just get rid of them and make this other guy Ashkan, then yeah, I'll say you're the Nerevarine. I'm good with that. So he just went ahead.
Quite good with that. You have to give him a pretty long speech first.
Yeah, the person who is going to become the Ashkan specifically needs to accept it. But since you have all the luck, anything you say is something they'll believe.
You're just that lucky.
You're so lucky that you're persuasive by default.
So now both teams are headed to Devay Fear, who is going to distribute the cure for Corpus for us. Yes, we did indeed possibly contaminate an Ashlander camp, but they already named us Nerevarine, so that's fine, I guess.
Besides, the Corpus disease will be gone in a couple days in-game.
Oh yeah, that's right. We're the big hero who takes care of that. That's essentially most of the main quest. We'll say farewell to Yagrum Bargarn, who is the last living dwarf. And we'll just take care of our Corpus, and there we go. Both teams currently neck and neck, heading into this next portion of the Zainab camp. Quick little out-of-the-way diversion to take care of one of the counselors. She talks too much. She rambles a bit. It's annoying.
And then buying some more scrolls here. Just stuff that you need for later quests and navigation.
So I think we just have a couple more Telvanni counselors to take care of.
Not to mention the
Trouble finding it.
not to mention the Telvanni Bride quest. One of the quirks on the 1.0 version is that the cage doesn't open up on its own, so you have to save and load after picking the lock. And then he's just going to guide her over, and she'll be just suddenly there even when she isn't because of a glitch that we honestly don't know how it works.
It's something in the AI.
It saves about 30 seconds compared with doing it or not if you have good luck in execution with both methods. The other way would, of course, be to just take her directly to the guy, but that's a
we
little
can't
bit
fly
slower.
here.
Yeah, because you have to have her follow you.
So once again, we're going to skip very far back in the main quest, and we are going to rescue someone from jail. This was the person we met earlier in the library in Vivek, where we stole the book. And she's in a spot of trouble. I guess first we have yet another diversion to take care of. I think this is the final Telvanni counselor.
And with that one guy being the only one left, suddenly his word is law as far as the Telvanni are concerned.
And same with the Radaran. That was the last counselor in our way.
Not much of a fight when you have a few thousand strength.
We make a special trip.
And also a few thousand luck. Sure helps.
It pretty much guarantees that you'll hit him, because there is a random chance to miss in this game when you attack, based on your skill with the weapon and the stat associated with it, and luck. So fortunately, luck factors in.
And yet it always seems that that chance is about 100% when you're playing casually.
At least once you're good with the weapon.
Alright, so we've spoken to a couple of the Halal counselors, now to take the person out of jail and warp them to a secret place where they're going to give us more information we were supposed to get a bit earlier. But we skipped that part, so we're just getting it now.
Once again, fortunately, doing things out of order is usually fine in this game. Emphasis on usually.
Usually, it's a Bethesda game. We've already seen how wonderfully that can go.
Right away, which was incredibly appropriate, I have to say.
I wasn't sure whether I was expecting that or should be surprised by that. Kind of both, actually.
I may have been quietly laughing to myself when that happened. I'm not going to lie. But anyway, there's a bit more that you have to do in and around Vivek, and that's mostly centered on becoming the Hortator for the third of the main houses, which is, of course, the Hlalu house. And a little bit of that running around and doing stuff that you saw was for that as well.
The main quest that's sort of centered around asking all of the counselors of this house is that once again, it seems there's one counselor who's sitting in the way, and once you deal with him, as Todd Squad has just done, everyone else just sort of falls in line and says, sure, why not? You're Nervery now.
We make a special trip.
So yeah, one thing that's worth mentioning is that Firefly is actually the former albino albatross. That's his new handle. So if you see anything about albino albatross doing a run of this game, like at GDQs, for example, that's him. Same guy.
You may have seen his name pop up on occasion in these dialogue boxes. It looks like the Tunnel Snakes are just about to finish up House Redoran. Meanwhile, the Todd Squad is almost finished with House Hlalu. That was Crassius Curio, author of the well-known play The Lusty Argonian Maid, as well as Part 2.
Fortunately, he's easy to convince because, well, apparently you're really good looking, even if you intentionally make yourself as ugly as possible.
So now the Todd Squad has met with the Archcanon, and they can meet with Vivek, one of the three false gods who's about to become an even more false god, and they can head back to Red Mountain, where we were near the start of this race, and take care of defeating the final boss.
So now he actually has Wraithguard, which is the item that you're supposed to need in order to equip Sumder and Keening. It also means that once he has it equipped, he can do that without having to worry about the death triggers that happen if you have them equipped for too long. So that's something that was avoided by weapon swapping really quickly earlier, in addition to combining that with the stacking glitches. But right here you see approaching the Heart of Lorkhan and the end of the game. And so that is it for the Tunnel Snakes. Wait, sorry.
That was
Team
Todd Squad.
Yeah, Todd Squad.
Yeah. Tunnel Snakes are still about to meet with the Archcanon. So I guess it means we're good to pass on to the next two commentators for the Oblivion portion of the relay race, our very own organizer, Bubbles Del Fuego, and Matumbro. Take it away,
Okay.
guys.
Go ahead, and I'll just pop in if I need to say something, but otherwise it's all you. I see him in the channel.
Down your weapons.
And that's it for Chops as well. So, been fun. Good luck, everyone, and I'll see you around.
You are free.
Hi. Had to unmute my mic. In your left ear, it's Bubbles Del Fuego. And there's game audio. Okay, cool. We did it.
How could they be waiting for us here? Your destiny. This cannot. Your destiny. Your destiny. Your destiny. They won't be the first to underestimate.
Matumbro's mic is currently muted, so it's just me for a little bit, but the sewers go on for like 7 minutes, so we're good anyway.
Don't try to follow.
So, actually, looks like the Todd Squad is who's in the lead here, so we're going to give them the audio cue. What's happened so far is they basically, they're both aggroing the Emperor and all the guards like Glenroy and Boris, and that makes them run a little faster. That's what all the aggro is for, and that's what you see Fun Cannon doing right now, is prepping aggro for later. So he can only be one hit away from having them be aggroed, because they just run faster when they're running towards you, of course. And Goblin has a small lead here. You good, Matumbro? Okay. I think Matumbo's still trying to work on his mic. But anyhow, it's not super complicated anyway. I gotta switch Chops over. Yep. That's the Fun Cannon playing, not Chops. And Garish Goblin's about to get out of the cave section of the tutorial and about to go to re-aggroing the Emperor and guards.
Protect the Emperor until help arrives. Here they come again.
And so you want to aggro them at the appropriate timing, and then as Glenroy is running towards that door, you want to aggro him again so it doesn't do the final group of them. And now you can save yourself having to kill another wave of enemies, basically.
This they cannot assign. This can only lead to your death. Who now will save us from our
You may as well make yourself... Stick close and let us do our job. We'll be all right.
Hold up. I don't like this. Let me take a look.
So now you want to push Glenroy around a little bit.
Looks clear. Come on. We're almost through to the sewers.
I think we're going to have Dr. T-Chops come in to replace Matumbro until he gets his mic fixed. So,
Hi.
Good job on your race there, Chops.
Thanks.
Alright, so we saw some duping there from Goblin, if you want to explain that while I fix my mic.
Okay, so duping is very silly. You basically... You click on your arrows while you're swinging your fists, and it says, hey, you can't equip that while attacking. And then you drop a different item, and it will drop the quantity of arrows that you had, but of the item that you dropped. So you can do this repeatedly to end up getting way more things that you should have.
I can...
I think I fixed my mic, by the way.
Yeah, it sounds better now, at least on Discord.
Alright, cool. So, they're not even that far apart right now. Looks like Todd Squad just finished up the sewers with the hard part. Now I just gotta walk out. But and Fun Cannon is hot on his heels.
Let me just get the
Let's see some sick barrel jump. Nice. Made sure to duplicate lockpicks, flash bolts.
Bubbles.
Hey, what's up?
Yo, man. Sorry for the delay.
This is Matumbro.
What's up, everybody?
Hi.
All right, I'll leave you to it. Have fun.
Thank you, Chops, for coming in and explaining stuff for a second. All right. So this is Matumbro.
Just fashionably late.
Yeah, Matumbro and I are probably the longest runners in the community that still do runs.
Yeah, it's been a few years.
Look at my wares.
But these kids are pretty fast. So they're gonna do all the work and we're gonna do all the talking here. And you just saw Garish Goblin pick up the golden juice of the run, the skooma. And so he's duplicating it, trying to get multiples on the ground, and then when he's got a bigger stack of them, then he will try to get around 300 to 400. And now the skooma can be used either at 5 at a time from the hotkey, or it can be used 4 in the hotkey and then 4 from your inventory to make a total of 8 being used at once.
Waste no time.
And so now they're just going to go fast. The hard part's over and they're going to try to be really, really optimal everywhere. And you can see Fun Cannon going for the real-time strats here. It is faster in in-game time to go to I think it's Bravo for the skooma, but he's going to go to Shady Sam to get the skooma, which is slightly faster in real time.
And we have Garish in his first Oblivion gate here. He's also probably going to be the only one in this run due to new strats.
We'll see a trick called load warping done fairly soon here. The first half of it is where the save file is going to be made. Now, he's already made a save file outside of the door at the Wayne Priory, but he's going to also make a save file outside of this door at the ending of the Oblivion gate, because the final cell of all Oblivion gates all share the same, I guess, location value. So you leave and then you make a save file outside of the door, and we'll be seeing why that comes into play later. And we already saw a skooma jump when you quickly, this run goes by fast. You see a skooma jump when you are on skooma and then you run into something and like jump and bounce off of it right after leaving the ground. You can do that at normal speed, but at skooma it actually is noticeable. And so now he's done with the Kvatch Oblivion gate. And Fun Cannon is just about to wrap it up as well. Much closer race than I imagined. And right here, you can get trolled pretty hard by this last guy. Okay, good. He didn't dance around too much. See Fun Cannon making that skooma jump first try.
I heard about...
And Goblin is now off to Muskarkan. You do need to go to Muskarkan. You can explain Muskarkan, Matumbro.
So Muskarkan is a part of the game you can go to at any point, but you get the quest normal it's like a normal playthrough. You'll get the quest towards the end of the game, but the developers put something in so if you happen to go into that dungeon, you can finish it at any time, and you'll get the main quest item. And it's, you can do it whenever, but so we usually do it earlier on in the run.
Yeah. Oh, if anyone's wondering, I mentioned this before the relay began, but now that there's about 1,000 more people, I'll mention that this category is no out of bounds. And so you can basically do anything as long as you do not clip through stuff and you do not go out of bounds. The out of bounds category is about 3 minutes and 30
3
seconds
minutes long.
held by Garish Goblin, and then Fun Cannon has like a 3:37 or something, and then you have like a 3:31, and so it's a silly category. This one
It's
is a lot
a
more
reset
fun.
heavy
Yeah,
category.
This one's a lot more entertaining and fun to grind out. So, Goblin's approaching the end of Muskarkant here. You gotta watch how he's falling. You gotta be really careful when you fall when you're on Skooma, because you might lose all your health on a drop, because it'll take all your speed and just shove you into the ground and break your legs. Like that. Gotta be careful. And now he's going to grab it, quick save, load the save file outside of the Wayne and Priory. Okay, follow me on this. And then he's going to open the door at the same time that he pauses, and then when he's paused, he's going to load the quick save, and now the character that was inside Muskarkand is now at Wayne and Priory, and it saves all the backtracking time. And that's what a load warp is. That's the first load warp that you'll see in this marathon, and you'll also see it in Skyrim, and you'll also see it in Fallout 4. So now back at the Priory, you want to clear out the goons. Oh, Goblin's playing so well today. When you're done with that, you want to head up to the Cloud Ruler Temple here and open up the doors so they can come in. And then as the doors are opening, you want to quickly just... This is a pretty good time to go and get yourself a Daedric item. So you can explain the Daedric item questline skip here.
So the Daedric item they're going to get is the Mask of Clavicus Vial, or actually it's Umbra. So you can get Umbra at any point in the game also, which is probably, if you played Oblivion casually and you wanted to find the strongest weapon in the game, that was the one you found, which is really close to the start of the game. And what we do is we get Umbra, and then we bring it over to the Statue of Clavicus Vial, and it actually breaks the game, and you kind of break the quest, in a sense, and it skips the majority of the quest.
And so you'll see Umbra takes about 4 flash bolts. They do about 20 damage each. And Umbra's down. And you take the Umbra from Umbra, and then you do a load warp to the beginning of the area, and then you run over to the Mask of Clavicus Vial Shrine. And here's a skip found by, I think, Yimiriams, where if you interact with the butt of the dog statue, you can actually save like 4 or 5 seconds or so, and hand in the quest line a lot sooner. Just call it dog butt skip.
You have proven.
And since you're going to be coming back to Cloud Ruler Temple a lot as well, you're going to want to make a save file here inside the building so you can load warp back here. And I think I'll leave it up to you to cover what all of this doing business in the town is all about here, Matumbro.
Good work.
I'm actually on a huge delay right now.
Oh, it's okay. Just explain what the books are, what they're getting books for. Because there's about, I would say, about 2 to 3 minutes of this in real time, but without the loading screens, it all goes by pretty quickly. So you have to go back and forth to all these people. And you have to finish off all these quest lines just so you can figure out where the Mythic Dawn are going to have their meeting. And then you, again, figure out where Mankar Cameron is going to be after all that.
I'm Fintius. You treacherous
Oh, looks like Goblin accidentally stole something from Phintius.
I'm Phintius.
It's so easy to do inside of that store.
Good.
And so with plenty of AI manipulation, you can get exactly who you need to be, where you need to be all the time. And this run has a lot of AI manipulation as well.
Also, it's a point of note that sometimes the AI are in different spots due to like how they have all their own unique schedules in the game. So it's a little bit of on the fly sometimes because they'll be out of position or not doing what you want them to do.
Mm-hmm. It's also very good to note, keep track of what time it is inside of your run. Like, as in when you wait, you can wait an hour at a time. And they're trying to line this up with 11:47, or is it 11:45, and 12:30. Oh, looks like Goblin got that jump too. His run's been very good, and Fun Cannon's gonna have to play well to catch up.
You're not easy to get. All right.
Okay, I muted all the Discord sounds, guys. There we go. Okay. So you see where they're going to have that meeting, and you just kill them instead and take the book and then get out of there. And so this is the part where he wants his clock to be in the right spot. So his in-game time is correctly lined up, and he knows exactly where the Dagon Shrine is. And so now Goblin is going to be heading north to the Dagon Shrine. And it looks like Fun Cannon is about to re-enter the sewer here, or just enter the sewer. No, still not too far behind. The difference can be made with just one simple game crash. If anybody watches or has even played an Elder Scrolls game before, Fallout game before, you'll know that there's plenty of game crashes.
And sometimes they happen at the worst possible times.
Oh, Fun Cannon got the jump as well. They barely ever get that jump, and Fun Cannon got the fast version. That skooma jump really quickly in the sewers that you might have been able to catch. And this is where you can't escape the Master's vigilance.
Praise be.
And then right here, you get what you need. And you're out. That's the final book that you need for now.
Ah.
And here's where you have to talk to Martin and Joffrey several times, and making sure that they line up where they're supposed to be can be very, very aggravating. Joffrey is just basically a teleporter, and Martin likes to sit in his chair, which is very kind of him.
Yeah, due to Joffrey's schedule, he can be at any part of the temple at any time whenever you have to go back there for quests. So it can get a little bit aggravating.
Alright, looks like Fun Cannon's heading towards the shrine as well. His run's been pretty clean.
Morning.
It's the best that he can ask for, really. And Goblin here is going to make a save file just so he can load warp over there later on in the run. You can see Goblin's very fast at clicking because this run is a very click-heavy run, very heavy on spamming the click key or just left mouse button. So we've allowed use of scroll wheel to be bound to left mouse button to make it easy on runners' fingers. Fun Cannon doesn't even do that, and he can already click at 10 clicks a second. And so you may also notice that everybody is also dying in one hit, besides Umbra. The difficulty is the lowest on the scroll bar. So along that, in addition to Flashbolt, which was duplicated in the beginning of the game, they can now just one-shot almost everything.
Thanks for coming.
Alright, and now the second Oblivion gate. This is how it gets completely skipped. You enter, you quick save, and then you load the save file that you were at the Oblivion gate earlier. And then you load warp right through, and the entire Oblivion gate is done. You don't even have to go up and touch the orb. You just gotta unlock the door and it's done.
And this is a very handy skip because back in the day, this used to be the most RNG dependent part of the run, to do with Captain Bird and how he would get through the gate. And it was basically you had to cross your fingers and hope for the fastest time.
Yeah, it was an escort mission, and you have to make sure that he follows you, and you have to kill an organized amount of enemies to make sure that he wouldn't attack them, and you have to make sure his squad wouldn't get too distracted. But now it's completely out of the run. It's great.
Also interesting to point out is back about 3 years ago, the world record for this category was about an hour and 2 minutes, and now it's all the way down to 26 because of the community. And we found some crazy stuff for this run.
There's still more stuff to be found, too. If anybody wants to join in, there's we're actually fairly active and pretty inviting, and got a few more things to look for. And speaking of Joffrey being quite annoying, here he is on the complete opposite side. But yeah, Goblin is going towards Sancrator now because he just needs one armor piece to start the battle for the final Great Gate. And the fastest one to get, and the earliest one that you can get, is at Sancrator. He's got to make sure to watch his health, though. Fun Cannon's not too far behind. He's just got to clear up a gate, which should take like a minute, and then he'll be on his way towards Sancrator as well. Oh, what a very nice skooma jump. And so in Sancrator, you have to kill 4 of these ghosts. The spirits of who used to watch over the Emperor. I only really figured that out by watching them semi-recently. And talking to them as they walked by. Accidentally in a run, talking to them. And so you run through, and you're making a load warp available for just one. When you're done with this one, you can load warp back to the beginning. And then get the other 2 quickly without having to backtrack. Most people are very confused as to, like, why are you pausing? Why are you loading save files? Like, you can only create the save files for a load warp during the same run. There were some funny jokes and ideas of making, like, a New Game Plus category where you just use save files from a different run. But we figured out the game would just be completed in, like, less than 5 seconds that way, so there's no point. Alright, looks like Fun Cannon has made it to Sancrator now. A big thing that could save Fun Cannon here is if Martin dies during the Great Gate fight. And we'll be seeing that soon. That's one of the biggest run enders as well. So Goblin better be careful of that.
I can attest to that. That is a very big run ender.
So now Goblin has killed all 4 of the skeletons that are vessels to the spirits, I guess, of these Emperor guards. And now we'll grab the armor of Tibur Septum, I think. That's how you pronounce it. And load warp back up to Cloud Ruler Temple and continue on. Even though he only has 1 piece of armor, he's just gonna tell everybody, like, we're ready to go. Looks like Goblin cannot find Martin. He's not in his chair. Oh,
Welcome aboard, ma'am. It'll be an honor.
in your bedroom, Martin? What are you doing in there?
My progress on
You just wanted some privacy, man.
Greeting.
Alright. Now that you're telling her to start the fight,
I will call out my...
you can head on over to very close to where Bird's Gate was. And just wait on for the Great Gate.
And a funny thing about this fight that was found a few months ago is that you can actually aggro Martin by attacking him to follow you, and you can just run outside of the battle zone, and everybody else will die, but Martin stays alive, so the game's just like, you know, okay, fine. So if, pretty much you don't do anything for a few minutes, but it skips majority of the battle, and you don't really have to do anything.
And so here, yeah, you just gotta make sure that Martin doesn't die. And you also gotta make sure that you kill a decent amount of enemies before you enter the fourth portal that opens. So that when you leave the Oblivion Gate towards the end, there aren't so many enemies when you come back out. Because when you're done with the Oblivion Gate, you need to speak to Martin again, and then go back up to Cloud Ruler Temple. So it's like an auto-scroller, but at the same time you have to pay attention, and that's just the worst. You see Fun Cannon about to start the gate as well. This will be a very good way for you guys to figure out exactly how different the lead is if you keep track of when Goblin enters the portal for when Fun Cannon enters the portal. I guess while we're waiting here, thanks for everybody showing up. Really appreciate it. If everybody wants to follow the runners with !runners command, and for all future runners and commentators, you can do !commentary, !runners for the commands in chat. Don't put links in chat yourself. Moobot's gonna wreck you. So just do the commands and Moobot's got you covered. Alright. Final portal's about to open up for Goblin here. And he's really making sure. He is really making sure that Martin doesn't die. He's keeping an eye on him. Oh, what's even worse than Martin dying is if you accidentally kill a guard out here by them running in front of your fireball. And then you're later on in the game, the guards have to send you to jail. Oh, that's so bad. That's so bad. But here he is. He went through it. Let's hope it doesn't happen to Fun Cannon, though. Very quick enemy clear for Goblin. Now he's heading on up to Paradise.
biggest threat in Paradise is being all the lava in the caverns,
Mm-hmm.
which can end many runs and has ended many of my runs in the past if you're not too careful.
You got to be absolutely careful here. There's a lot of intricacies. You want to make sure that. I guess I'll just give the play-by-play as it goes on. But first off, you want to get a notification saying that when you're in Paradise, like it says, "Hey, you're in Paradise," basically. Like I've got to go get Mancart Cameron, and that's gonna let you know that an enemy is gonna walk through this door right here. Oh, he got it just before the door. And this enemy has the Bands of the Chosen, which lets you go through the fire doors. It's optimal to get him now so that when you apply more skooma, you only need to open your menu once.
So, the cat's paw of the Septims arrives at last. You didn't think you could take
Ooh,
me
very,
unawares
very,
here
almost
of
fell in the
places,
lava there, Goblin.
in the paradise that I created.
Alright, looks like Fun Cannon also just finished up Great Gate.
Now upon my paradise.
I'm ready to.
Well done, champion. Your progress is swift and sure. Perhaps you will reach me after all. You think I mock you? Not at all.
Yeah, these two are both top 2 in the leaderboards. As well were Dr. T. Chops and Firefly. And you can see Goblin going slightly out of bounds there. Not out of bounds. You can't do that in this category. He tries to go out of the boundaries, but it teleports him back in. And doing that, teleports him back in bounds and like makes it so the aggro leaves these random enemies that are inside the caves, which can make it so you can't fast travel later on in the run.
If you truly are the agent of fate.
Finish off Mancon Cameron and then load warp back.
You found a way.
Oh, did we get a crash from Fun Cannon? I didn't even notice. I trust you guys, though. That's one more on the crash counter. Boop. Happens. Happened to the wrong team, though. Tunnel Snakes are gonna have to hustle. Fun Cannon's been playing well, though. He practiced today.
On behalf of the Elder Council, I accept your claim to the Imperial throne.
Nothing
Yeah,
wrong
it
with
looks
this
like
gameplay.
Garrett is about to wrap everything up right here.
Yeah, we're gonna have to have the runners for Skyrim be very ready.
No.
When Goblin finishes, he's gonna give the signal. And this is the part where you would normally beat the game in about 3 minutes by just going to this door immediately, clipping through it, and activating the final quest. But instead we just did all of that just to get to the final quest instead. See a little bit of the inside of Martin's head. And Todd Squad is about to finish off Oblivion here.
I do what?
At the 102 mark. And it looks like it's immediately just going to switch over.
Hello.
Hi. Hello.
And I'll let you guys take it over for Skyrim.
All right. Well, Skyrim starts off with like a whole bunch of tech. So immediately, we're going to see them do an infinite sprint glitch where you quick save, stop sprinting, and quick load, and it just gives you infinite sprint. And my beam is now freezing. That's good.
I think it was just his stream.
Oh, good. His stream died right as the thing started. All right. Well.
What Drops was trying to say was that you can keep sprinting without actually losing stamina. by doing some quick save, quick load stuff while running.
Yep. All right, Burr 1 is offline. Excellent.
Perfect time for some horse facts. Did you know that horses are herbivores? So that means they only eat plants.
Everything is ready for Martin's arrival. Don't worry.
I did not know that. Please tell me more.
More?
Yeah.
Okay. A young male horse is a colt, and a young female is a filly.
Neat.
What else?
All right, so apparently the runner's everything just crashed. That's good. As soon as he started the run, just
some good strats to catch up.
Yeah, I think the Todd squad was just, they're way too fucking stacked. They're like
Heckin'
almost
stacked.
all world. They're all, that's what I said, yeah.
Way too horsing. Stacked.
Yeah, they're stacked like horses or something.
So none of the streams are going, right? Like, I can't see...
Fun Cannon's still going. He hasn't finished
yeah.
Oblivion yet.
Oh, yeah, okay. Makes sense.
I do.
All right, Doctor is about to start. We'll just commentate on Doctor Scream. It'll be fine. Alright, so Skyrim starts with a lot of tech. You can do infinite sprint by doing quick save, quick load, and it just lets you sprint infinitely without using stamina. Oh man, Doctor actually failed the dragon jump. Here you just kind of jump around Alduin, and that just skips running all the way through this first opening area. Instead, you can just run straight to this doorway.
Yeah, we gotta untie our hands. So that you
Yeah.
do that by talking to Hadvar.
Well, we don't do that yet.
Well, no, we're gonna set up some saves first.
Yeah, so the load warp glitch that was in Oblivion is also in this game, and it works a little bit differently, but it's the same principle. So he's going to make a save directly in front of this load zone, and then quick load back towards here to get his hands unbound. Another thing, you can quick save and quick load to skip dialogue. You can also bump into them. And now that his hands are untied and he's picked up that bucket, he's going to reload the save that's directly in front of the load zone. And you have to pause right at the same time you enter the load zone. He got it first try. And you're able to quit back to the main menu and load up a different save, which is the one with the hands unbound. It'll load that save, and then it'll trigger the area transition, putting your unbound character at the end of Helgen Cave, and you skip going all the way through it. Which is pretty sweet. Okay, I think Laston's is back.
So the big difference then between like Skyrim's load warping and the load warping in Fallout 4 and Oblivion is that you actually like don't have any way to like get your like menu up in a good way while entering like the transition loading area. So.
Yeah, in Oblivion you can just pause the game right as you use the door, and then your menu pops up, so you can just do whatever. In Skyrim, you need to walk into the load zone and pause at the same time, and then the screen will fade to black, but your menu will be open, so you can't actually see it when you quit the main menu. It's kind of silly.
Yeah, and then Fallout 4 you have to do it with quick loads when the screen fades.
Spoiler alert.
Yeah.
Alright, so Doctor is now doing another glitch. This is vendor glitch. You basically open up a vendor's inventory. You open up yours to sell, but you trick the game to open up the vendor's inventory, so you sell their own items back to them, and you just effectively take all of their money.
I mean, you don't take it; they sell it to you.
They're selling their own items to you, is what's happening.
Without giving you the item.
Well, I mean, they keep the item because they're buying it.
Yeah, they're buying their own item from you with their own money.
Yeah, it's good times. Right. So, because of the crash, Team Tunnel Snakes is ahead because they're the best. No bias. But yeah. So here's a little silly thing. If you aggro a guard and then throw some money at them, they'll take you to Dragonreach, which is a place we need to come back to later, so we might as well fast travel here and get a fast travel point. But we don't actually need to do anything now, so instead we're going to make our way to the stables. Get the fast travel point for later, and doesn't buy a horse. Still disappointing.
Doesn't buy a horse.
Doesn't buy a
Cry
horse.
on the inside. Did you
Alright.
know that horses produce 10 gallons of saliva a day?
That's really cool. So, Doctor is now he traveled to Solitude with the carriage, and he's now making his way to the Thalmor Embassy, which is a place you come to way later in the storyline. But this is probably the biggest individual skip, and it's probably one of the oldest ones too.
It's a pretty giant sequence break.
Yeah.
Also pretty nice rock bite dodge as well. Rock giant.
Mm-hmm. So, walls in this game aren't really all that solid. They're more solid than Morrowind, but they're still not that solid. So you can just kind of go over here and use this bucket to just, go straight through this wall.
Pretty sure the lore is that the bucket is stronger than the wall, right? So the wall just crumbles.
Well, you get pushed inside of the bucket, and then since it's curved, it just shoves you violently out the other side, and you just go straight through.
Where do you want to go?
So he looted a chest there. In that chest is a note. That note puts you on the quest of Cornered Rat, which is about halfway through the quest line. I think it's a little bit less than halfway through the main quest line.
It's still pretty far though.
It's like 4 or so quests that you skip, like big quests, not just like talking to people. And here's Habit's favorite part.
I have to find a way to stop people hitting the horse.
Gotta find faster strats. It's the only way.
Can we find a bow, shoot the guard? It would be slightly faster.
I mean, you can punch the carriage driver. It's just really awkward and a little bit out of the way.
Yeah. You can horse tilt there as well. Wait, that doesn't exist, does it?
Oh, apparently. No, it's forbidden strats.
Yeah, it's too cool.
Alright. Right there, you can just jump across that gap because you have infinite sprint, and it's really easy. You can make it without infinite sprint. It's just really annoying. So this is Riften. This is the Routways. We're going to go talk to our good old buddy, Asbjorn. The main quest you're supposed to be on now is to go talk to Delphine, and she'll tell you to go here, but you can just go directly here. It doesn't actually matter.
If you haven't heard yet, the game is played on what language is it again? Spanish?
French. French makes almost no difference. There's very little dialogue left in the game that doesn't get skipped, so it's only like a second-ish faster.
Yeah. So if you were wondering why it's French, it's not because the runners are French. Even if they were, it's just faster.
So you gotta sit through some waiting and some dialogue from Esbern, and then oh no, Laston's got the glitch. So sometimes if you you're supposed to just put away your weapons and then the guards will let you surrender. Sometimes they just have a crazy bloodthirst and just will not take your surrender, and they will just murder you forever.
I mean, I can see the reasoning. He did just punch a horse. I would do the same.
It's true.
No mercy.
Alright, so after talking to Esbern, you can just load warp out because it's faster than running through. So the load warp is we'll say frame perfect trick, even though we have absolutely no proof. But it is extremely specific, and it depends on your setup, and it's really, really dumb and hard to do. So all of these tries are completely normal. He actually got it first try last time, which was impressive.
The whole term frame perfect is kind of
it's meaningless.
Stupid. Yeah, it's kind of stupid when it comes to PC speedruns.
Yeah, a frame isn't a proper thing, but
Yeah,
it's fine.
Need a ride? Where do you want to go? Climb and back.
in a lot of games it doesn't even work that way.
Never been to Markarth?
Yeah, your rendering isn't tied to your inputs and
Exactly.
stuff and your logic. But it's fine. All right, so we got Esbern. We need to go do some other little things before we continue the quest. So later on, we need to go to Skyhaven Temple, and we're just gonna go and get the fast travel point for that right now because it'll more conveniently work out for the in-game time and the NPC schedules and all that.
Do you know if they're both gonna get married twice or not?
I think they're both going to. Also, spoilers.
No, I meant like in real life.
Oh yeah. In real life, after this, they're going to get double married.
Yeah.
It's fine.
Not to horses.
No, they don't like horses. This run is really silly because there's random events that can happen here. Unfortunately, it's not at nighttime, so we can't see the headless horseman anymore, which is sad. But yeah, it's a quick run. It could be quicker, but apparently not. There's no tech that would possibly make this quicker.
There's no way to fly.
No, there's no way to move at near infinite speed.
Nope. You cannot get free orc armor.
Another useful thing about getting this fast travel point first is Esbern is kind of awful, and if you take him here and then do the quest immediately, sometimes he like won't follow you all the way. But if you get the fast travel point, leave, do something else, and then go back here to do the quest, he'll always be with you. You don't have to worry about him following. Here's a little puzzle. You can just kind of jump over it. Puzzles are slow.
Jumping up this puzzle is kind of wonky though. So
Yeah,
doing
the
it fast
collision
is
is really strange.
yeah. Doing it fast is pretty impressive. So.
It's almost getting downright hot now.
Good on Doctor for doing that fast.
We need to go. Yes, we're going to Winterhold now. This is something that you don't really have to do at any specific time. There's basically two parts to this quest. You need to go to Winterhold and go all the way up north to Septimus to get a puzzle piece. Also, this jump looks really scary, but it's actually completely free. There's no possible way to die.
No, it's totally scary. Don't worry.
I mean, yeah, it's totally scary. It's like frame perfect, pixel perfect.
Oh,
Something.
first try. Wow.
Oh, what a god! What a god!
Yeah, what a god. I wonder if you'll see Wally.
Maybe.
Yeah,
I
I
might
hope
see
so.
Wally.
I miss Wally.
Yeah, so you have to go here. You talk to Septimus. He's got a cube that's you need to get a special quest item, the Elder Scroll. Oh my god, it's in the name of the game. It's amazing. And normally, hey Wally. Normally you have to actually like talk to him, and he talks for like 30 seconds or something. Like he's got a really long, stupid dialogue. So instead of doing that, you can just kind of jump over to him and just crouch beside him and pickpocket him. And you have like if you're in stealth, you have like a 50% chance, but also Skyrim stealth mechanics don't make any sense at all. So you just kind of drop down, make a quick save, and then just repeatedly loot him until he lets you have the thing.
I mean...
And he's in a terrible position.
The Skyrim stealth mechanics are
First
really
try,
bad.
what a god.
Wow, oh god. Pure skill.
Pure skill.
It's so raw. I like how Esbern is there as well.
Yeah, Esbern's just following you around because you haven't taken him to Riverwood, which he's doing now. This is supposed to be a long dialogue between Esbern and Delphine, but you can just use some weights, go in and out the building a few times, and it just kind of skips the entire thing.
I do that in real life.
Yeah, it's true. If you ever just want people to not talk to you, just like turn around and go outside and go back inside and go outside, and they'll
Yeah, well,
probably
for
stop talking to you.
Yeah.
Just stand outside for an hour. Back to Skyhaven, and use a wait, and Esbern appears, so you don't have to worry about him not showing up.
I mean, why would you want to be inside anyway? The horses are outside.
It's true. But there's a long animation of the door to Skyhaven opening up, so while that's going on, we'll just go do something else. And let's first do another vendor glitch on this guy, just because he happens to be right out here at this time, which is really convenient. Get some more money, because we need more money for special things later. And then make our way to Mazark. Man, I forgot how much running this game used to have.
Yeah. I mean, what? There is
I mean, it currently does.
There is no secret tech that they
has.
totally are not using for reasons.
It's definitely no tech that makes the run a lot more fun, but also less marathon safe, so they're being wimps about it.
Totally, this is totally how the any percent route looks nowadays.
Yeah, this is definitely world. Oh man, he's even doing the extra safety strat. He's not going straight to Mazark.
Is he dodging dogs?
No, he's going to get some scrolls.
Oh, right.
So there's going to be a fight about halfway through the game, which is actually surprisingly difficult. You have a pretty real chance of dying if you basically screw anything up. So Doctor is going out of his way. It's like 20 or 30 seconds out of the way, something like that, to go get a scroll instead. And the scroll we're going to glitch out to... It'll be in a container, but also be equipped on his hands. And that way he just has infinite uses of the scroll. And it just kind of decimates everything in the game, even Elduin.
Yeah, it's one of my... I really enjoy this glitch, especially this scroll. It's a lot of fun to use.
Yeah. So the door's supposed to be locked, but you can just look right in between and just use it. And then you go over here, pick up the scroll, which is like in the hands of a burnt corpse, so it's really annoying to pick up. And then you do...
Through the door is way more finicky than it seems.
Yeah.
Picking
There's
up
like a
scroll
pixel.
also. Yeah.
Yeah, so you do something similar to the vendor glitch to equip it on your hands while it's in the urn. And then, yeah, you're just armed. Oh, the skeleton trolled him. The skeleton will randomly stand right in the hallway there when you leave. But you saw he just like instantly killed it with the scroll.
It's fun to see like how many of the glitches between these games like are not based on each other, but like they work.
Yeah.
Very similarly.
This Gamebryo engine is a marvel of technology in that it's just a mess, but in different ways every time.
Yeah, but like you can never expect anything when running or trying to find stuff in these games. It's truly magnificent. So he's going down to the Mazark Tower now to get the Elder Scroll.
I'm gonna refresh my streams because apparently they're like the same as watching the restream. There we go. Yeah, so Tower of Mazark, you can just kind of like walk through that wall. It's pretty nice. Like, you don't even have to clip through it or anything, you just kind of walk through it. And then you solve this incredibly taxing puzzle. It's very, very difficult. And you pick up
like
the Elder Scroll.
It's 8-dimensional, so, but only with yourself.
Yeah, man. He also picks up a very important item here. He's just gonna look at it for a little bit, apparently.
I mean, if they're not doing horse tilting, the buckets are the coolest thing left.
Yeah, it's true.
I guess marriage is cool.
Yeah, marriage is also pretty alright.
Yeah.
Alright, so while he's doing all that stuff, the door is open here, so we can go over here. This is also supposed to be another really long dialogue section, but you can do quick save, quick load, and you can also sprint into people to skip their dialogue lines. So that's what he's going to do, just to skip through both their stuff.
So if he didn't go and get the scroll, he would have to dupe dragon banes to kill dragons.
Yeah, we'll see the other runner do that in a little bit.
Yeah, LT will probably do that. Which is just spamming quick save while picking one sword up, right?
Yeah, you just hold the sword in front of you and you just spam quick save and pick up, and you'll pick up multiple ones.
Yeah.
It's pretty silly.
Sometimes you can get more than 2 even. It's pretty fun.
Wonderful. Mara, we also perform
Too bad we don't have 3 arms.
a person who is
Oh man, now we have a very emotional moment now. Doctor is going to meet the love of his life and throw $500 or 500 gold pieces in his face and then get married. It's true love right here. Also, Mixer is tripping out for me.
They're totally going to buy a house on the shoreline, dude. Come on. They need that
Yeah.
500 gold pieces to... They have a dream.
Alright, so he buys an amulet, throws 500 gold, and is like, hey, let's get married. And they're like, alright, sick. Let's do it. But first, horse things.
Slow horse things.
We have a nice casually trot on this horse up. There's no possible way to get up this mountain any faster. We're just going to ride up with a horse. Alright, we see, oh.
I mean, this is more
He's
or
doing
less
it that way.
This is more or less the casual way up, right? Like,
Yeah, I think everybody did this.
Yeah. Don't think anybody did.
You can get infinite stamina on the horse as well. It's a different glitch, but it's basically the same thing. And then, yeah, you just kind of go flying up the side of the mountain.
Even the most like staunch opponent of glitches in games probably did this in Skyrim. If we're all being honest with ourselves.
So Laston's actually did something a little bit different. He didn't dupe Dragonbane. He did the same thing as the scroll glitch, where you put it into a chest, and then just equipped it on both of his hands while it was in the chest. So it's effectively the same thing. He just actually doesn't have it in his inventory, but it's equipped.
I mean, you can't lose what you don't have, right?
Exactly.
Thinking ahead. Like, what if Alden knocks it out of his hands? Like, yeah. So Doctor's going to meet the Greybeards and talk with them and stuff. Learn some noises and.
Yeah, you're supposed to go meet the Greybeards earlier on in the quest line, but we kind of skipped over that with the Thalmor Embassy thing. So the front door is actually still locked. So luckily we have a horse and we can just kind of ride over the wall and just come in the back door.
Yeah, there's totally no other way to do any of these things. This is the only way to.
This is the fastest method, don't worry.
Have you learned nothing from us?
This is actually kind of a scary part, because if you mess up and like use an extra weight or something, your horse will just disappear. And if you mess up the dialogue here with Aranjir, he will get really mad at you and tell you to heck off for like a while. So hopefully,
Arangir, by the way.
it's Aranjir.
Heresy.
I don't know. Scandinavia isn't a real place. It's just a fantasy thing. You can say it however you want.
I mean, I live in Skyrim. We have horses there.
Oh, that's nice.
I mean, there is a reason why the horse disappears if you are in there too long. Like, they're obviously not treating the horses right. Horses needs to be tilted daily.
Alright, so we learned clear skies from that guy. Horses can actually read dragon words really fast as well, for some reason.
They're smart.
And that's not needed right now to get up the mountain, because, hey, we have a horse and we can just climb it. But that is needed for the end of the game, and if you don't get it there, you will soft lock at the very end. So that's fun. Right now, Team Tunnel Snakes is in the lead by like a minute.
It's a bit ahead, but the crash at the start really sets LT back, so.
Alright, I'm gonna Okay, never mind. I'm not gonna ban this guy because apparently, oh, there it goes. Thanks, thanks, Chatty, for being a well-made program. It's never buggy.
LT fell off his climb there a bit. His climbs can be really strange, especially depending if you get a good horse or not.
Yeah.
A lot of fun stuff can happen with horses on mountains.
So now that he's up here, you can talk to Mario. I mean, Parthenax, whatever his name is. And he skips through some dialogue, and it's going to be a whole bunch of lore and stuff and plot. And then ultimately, Parthenax is going to go tell him to go get an Elder Scroll, which conveniently he already has. And he's also going to teach him this Fire Breath spell, which is going to be mildly useful later on.
Yes, do you want to explain why we got married, or do we save it for when it happens?
Or we're about to get married.
Yeah. I mean,
right now, the thing you're supposed to do right here is just use the Elder Scroll, and it teleports you into a cutscene that's like 5 minutes long. You have to just sit and watch. But that's boring and slow. So instead, we're going to go get married, because that sounds more fun.
Yeah, I mean, we've been kept him. He's waiting right in the chapel right now, so...
Well, I mean, they scheduled it for the next day, so you had to go waste a day doing all this other busy work before you could actually get married.
Yeah.
So just do a quick little thing here. You fast travel somewhere and then quick load, and it like does a glitch, which is going to be useful. And then let's go get married.
Yeah.
So Mercurio's already waiting, so we just walk over to the church, and then we're just going to use the Elder Scroll as we walk in. And what that does is it starts up the marriage, but then uses the Elder Scroll, which, because of the glitch we just did, will teleport us into the cutscene, even though we're not at the top of the world. And then, since we're leaving our marriage, we're failing our marriage, and it's going to give us back control of our character, because we're exiting a cutscene. And now we're in the past watching this cutscene, but we have control of our character, so we can do things like kill the dragon that's in the past that we shouldn't be able to interact with.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff that happens now that's pretty funny.
Yeah, it doesn't really make any sense. We're fast traveling and like using carriages, but in the past.
I mean,
sure.
We're traveling back in time because we got married.
Exactly. Yeah, unfortunately, we actually failed our marriage. I'm sorry to say.
I mean, it's fine. We can make it up to him, right?
Yeah, we'll make it up to him, hopefully.
Yeah.
And you do a little traveling around here to waste some time, because there's a lot of lore happening in this cutscene, as you might expect. But yeah, just kind of go through this, and then we learn Dragonbane, and then sit through some more lore, do some more traveling. This still saves like 2 minutes or something, even with the marriage setup and all this extra traveling, and also Ripcorn Lathe. The really annoying thing is Alduin's hitbox is really screwy, and sometimes you can just like Hakon can like clip inside of Alduin's hitbox, and then they can just kind of like dance all over the top of the world. Fortunately, that didn't happen for Doctor. And then, while waiting for the cutscene to end, we're just going to go over here and get one more fast travel point. Another guard warp. And then, conveniently, it'll teleport us back to the top of the world. Throat of the world, rather.
Yeah, and cutscene is over now.
Yeah, the cutscene's over, and this is where you were the whole time during the cutscene.
Yeah.
Obviously.
He didn't tell him. Oh, maybe LT's at marriage now. Maybe he manages to get married.
Maybe. So, Doctor right now is doing this fight that we talked about earlier. This is the first time you fight Alduin. It's actually pretty difficult normally, but since he has the ice scroll, it just kind of decimates him completely, and you don't even have to care. You just sit here and attack him until he dies. And safety dragon rending Parthenax so he doesn't like fly away while he's trying to talk to him. Let's see, Lastins has the double Dragonbanes that are actually not in his inventory. So these do bonus damage against dragons, but it's still a lot less than the scroll. So he's going to have a actually kind of difficult fight.
Yeah. Did you explain why he does that much damage with the Dragonbanes? Like that he does unlimited power attacks?
Yeah, so normally your you can power attack with 2 swords where you do like a triple attack or quadruple attack or something, and he uses a whole bunch of stamina. But if you start doing that attack and then just tap your attack buttons, you'll just do the full attack without using any stamina, and you can just chain that over and over again to do a ton of damage.
Which is really important if you want to kill something with a lot of HP, because you'll run out of stamina.
Yeah.
More or less immediately if you don't. So.
It's actually required for that fight because you would not be able to survive it otherwise.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, Doctor is doing politics. That's literally it. This is the politics section, and it's not Morrowind politics where you shoot people through walls out of bounds with bows. This is actual politics. It's just talking to people.
Yeah, I wish he could just find the door and just go in and out and wait a bit. Would probably solve the problems as well.
It would be nice.
Yeah.
So you need to talk to this guy, because you want to use his thing to capture a dragon, but he won't do it while there's a war. So you need to stop the war. So you need to go talk to the heads of the 2 factions and convince them to do a peace council. You need to talk to the Greybeards so they actually host a peace council, and then you need to do the peace council, and then the guy will finally let you use his sweet home to capture a dragon.
You don't have to do the peace council.
Well, in theory, you have to do the peace council.
Yeah, you have to be close to it.
You have to be aware of its existence.
Yeah.
You have to start the peace council at the very least.
You have to be close to the door next to the peace council.
So while Doctor's talking to all these people, we can watch Lastins do the fight with the Dragonbanes. So this fight is very specific on positioning and like rhythm of attacks, because depending on where you are compared to Alduin, he'll do different attacks. So you need to try to be beside him, so he'll just hit you with his wing, which does the least damage. You also have to manage staggering him with your shouts and with a certain damage threshold, and you have to be chaining your power attacks the entire time, so to actually do enough damage to kill him. So he's doing tail attacks. That's actually bad. That does like twice as much damage as wing attacks, but he might still be okay.
The reason why this run is done on the original launch of the game and not special edition is just that special edition is worse and slower.
Yeah. All right,
They didn't
still
even
fine.
fix anything, but
Yeah, special edition like actually still has all of the same glitches except for like one tiny one that doesn't matter.
Yeah.
But it's just slower because there's a fade in and fade out that's way longer for every load and also for quick saves and quick loads. Oh, Lastin's got floating Parthenax.
Oh no.
So Parthenax sometimes can just land in the air, and you have to wait for him to fly back up and fly around and then land again before you can talk to him. It's pretty sweet. This is a good video game, you guys. Oh, it looks like Doctor's getting married again. So he screwed up. He made a mistake. He actually needs to get married, and Mara forgives him because Mara's a good god.
Yeah.
So we can get married again.
Don't even have to throw money at his
Don't even
face.
have to throw money at him again. Mercurio's a really great guy. He forgives you because it's you.
Really likes you.
He gave him 500 gold. That's a lot, man.
I mean, that was for the cabin. Come on. They were going to buy a horse together. Just like fish by the lake.
Adorable.
Yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't like play slow or anything like that. It's just the loading. There's more time where you don't have control whenever you load. So it's just slower because of that. That's the only reason.
So there, special edition even has something that's good about it, and that is
Yeah.
You can actually control horse tilt.
What's a horse tilt?
Oh right, no. Horses.
No, there's
not-
nothing different about it. There's nothing better.
Yeah. No.
There's no secret tech that it would actually be better.
Horses do not like sour or bitter tastes.
All right, so Doctor is starting up the Peace Council here. So he's gonna go sit down, get it started. And you can quick save and quick load to skip through things and use some weights. And oh no, he failed his marriage again because he missed the day, and then it gave him back to control because Lamau. So now he has control again. He's just gonna leave the Peace Council and just go in and out a few times while they talk it out. They're all smart people. They can talk it out amongst themselves.
They should have done this, like in the Vietnam War or something. Just walk in and out of the door for a bit.
Yeah. Easy.
Best Peace Council.
So this is actually slower without loads when you time it like that, like because normally in the Peace Council you just quick save and quick load for like 3 minutes straight, but it's actually like 20 seconds without loads. So this is slower, but you know, for this relay race, it's good times.
Yeah.
It's like a minute faster real time.
Yeah, for the people who don't understand what we mean by real time and without load and everything, computer games, or rather computers are not made the same. They're usually different components, so we removed load times to compensate to make times fair and competitive. Which just means that if you have a RTA run like this is faster than removing loads.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I never mentioned what happened to Lessons. Oh, he crashed, I think. Sick. Increment the crash counter. We never mentioned, but you play High Elf in this run, simply because High Elves are taller than all the other races, which makes them run faster. Like their base move speed is entirely based on their height, and High Elves are the tallest, so they run the fastest.
Yeah, correct me if I'm wrong, but the runners used to be orcs before.
There's a few different things that people were. The last one were orcs because they were the second tallest, but also they were better at fighting, so it made the Alduin fight better.
Yeah,
but then more strats were found to make the Alduin fight doable on High Elf.
Yeah.
Alright, so
Doctor is doing now is he's using the call to spawn Odahviing while still inside of the castle, which still spawns Odahviing.
Yeah. And then he does a little timing thing so he can shout Odahviing right as he walks through the door. And the guard died? Yeah, the guard died, which is nice. It's random if the guard lives or dies. If the guard lives, then Odahviing has to like swipe him again. And he just wastes a bunch of time, but oh man, this dragon's breathing fire and shit. Just run away. Let the other people take care of it. They'll handle it. And you leave and come back, and oh no, they still haven't handled it. Leave and come back again. and then eventually they'll handle it. All right, they handled it. Good job, other people.
See, all problems are solved by just leaving.
Yeah. Just leave and let people talk it out. They'll figure it out. They're grown people. It'll be fine. And yeah, he agrees to take you to Skuldolphin, which is where evil guy is doing his evil plan. And there's a really dumb looking animation of you flying off on him. Unfortunately, we can't watch it because if you just fast travel away, it skips that whole thing. Even though it's hilariously dumb and never works right. But oh well. This is Skuldolphin. This is like the last big dungeon before the final area. But you can just kind of, if you can get up to the top, you can skip the whole thing. So what you can do is go over here and just drop a bucket and then look down while you're inside of the bucket and pick it up and pull it towards you. And since you're pulling towards the bucket, it'll push you up, and then you'll pull it higher and it'll push you up, and then you can just kind of fly with it. It's like very simple physics. It's very straightforward. It's very obvious. It makes absolute sense why it works. The bucket will just randomly stop partway up, So unfortunately, you can get all the way up in one bucket, but Doctor had to do 2. That's not too bad. It's still pretty fast.
And the bucket totally doesn't fly in a direction depending on where you looked when you dropped it.
Yeah, it's you know, getting your bucket pilot's license is actually a grueling task.
Yeah, and
But
there's
he
also
did it.
no other way to do this way faster with horses.
No,
and maybe
there's no other way.
No, yeah. No.
Also, the lich thing there is supposed to just like close the portal so you can't go through, but you can literally just run past them and go in. Like there's nothing stopping you. You have so much time. It's great. Now he's in heaven or something. Basically heaven.
I mean, yeah.
The evil guy's here, so it's spooky and foggy. Oh no. And we have another actual fight. This one's pretty straightforward, but if you get really unlucky, it can kill you. But you have to be like really unlucky, so it probably won't happen. This is soon. He will stop. Or you have to fight him because there's a giant kill box all over the building behind him. So if you beat up soon, then he'll let you pass because you passed his challenge or something, and then the kill box will despawn and you can move on. Also, I forgot he had the scroll, so that was literally free. There was literally no way for him to lose that.
Yeah. There's a few things that can happen when you want to get past there with Dragonbane. So having the scroll really makes it a lot more easy on the runner.
Oh, Blastons is actually doing the Peace Council.
I mean,
so he's going for the faster game time, but it's slower RTA, and you can see why. It's just you're sitting here in quick save and quick loading forever.
I mean, he gave up on his soulmate.
Wow, I can't believe it.
Actually, not his first soulmate. He gave up on the horses as well. So I mean, it's like double heartbreak.
Terrible.
Yeah, SMH.
And Doctor is getting ready for the last fight. He's rounded up the heroes that arbitrarily are required to beat the final boss. And he has to sit through this incredibly dense, packed action sequence, QTEs, etc., where you blow smoke back and forth at each other for like 2 minutes. This is the height of video game entertainment right here.
It's so hectic though, come on.
And you just blow smoke back and forth.
Yeah.
And then the game's like, alright, fine, just fight him.
Yeah, Vape Nation, dude, come on.
This is epic. So we have a peace council on one side and blowing wind back and forth at each other at the other side. Oh man, Skyrim is amazing. So he's actually going to position himself to hit Alduin with Dragon's Rend. That's it. That's what it's called. He's going to position himself to hit Alduin right as he spawns with Dragon Rend. Normally you have to like wait for him to land in a good position so you can hit him, but if you move in the right way to manipulate his spawn, you can get him to spawn over here, and then you just shoot him right as he spawns in, and you don't have to wait for him to fly around. And now he has the ice scroll, so this fight is going to be real fast. And he's done. Sick.
That's Horseman.
Horseman 5000. This fight is like a lot less scary than the first one because you have the 3 heroes with you, so they can just fight it for you.
I think Fallout 3 has started, so
yes,
we will take our leave.
Thanks for watching the Elder Scrolls. Now for Fallouts.
Yeah, that was Chops, and I'm Havard. Goodbye.
See that?
I'm Renarth.
Alright, so we're gonna cover this commentary here.
So the run starts out pretty normal, if you could call it. Just the special book, we just get out of as fast as every point in strength, and then hit exit.
What are you doing down?
We just wait for Dad to come back.
Are you ready for your
And we QSQL to skip dialogue. That'll happen a lot. And QL means to save and quick load. Pretty much all dialogue in the game.
It's useful pretty much for accomplishing 4 different glitches, which will happen throughout the run.
Right here you can see
good work. Hey,
you go down to talk to Joan in the basement. You saw him clip through a door as well. That door is basically tissue paper.
Yeah, a lot of the doors, not all the doors, are like pretty thin. You can quick load and then you move before your walls do, and so you can move right through them.
Yeah, clipping in this game, you can clip through anything that has a corner or basically anything in the game if given enough time.
Okay, so if you want to explain how he just basically time travels right here, and when he clips,
clip out everything in the game. Every cell has a reset point. So if you set point, and then that point is either set in the level or by the devs. That cell, the whole opening sequence has no loading, all just one cell. So when when it sets you at the COC point, it will put you when you're escaping.
It's always the same COC point, regardless of if you are a baby or if you're a full adult. And here's the good part: as soon as they escaped, now it's time to get speed cripple. If you want to explain speed cripple as well.
Okay, this is gonna, since there's a long walking segment after this. Basically, damage isn't calculated in the game. Damage over time. All damage is applied. So that's important because when you break a limb, it'll apply the damage to that limb over time. So in order to get 160% walking speed, you need to load the game at the right moment, at the right amount of, or the limb break damage applied to your limb. Do it at the right time. It's between 4, depending on how many physics will cause the limb
it's my pleasure to
applied at the same time the game is loading and then reapplying the 100% walking speed. So it'll apply both 60% walking speed and 100% walking speed at one time, thus giving you 160%. Pretty stupid and pretty weird, but that's...
Yeah, you can do it with any form of crippling your legs. So falling, or as you can see, Miko here is getting the missile launcher, and then he's turning off his game and then turning it back on. This isn't a game crash. He's doing it to make it so he can get it consistently. Speed cripple.
Yeah,
well, a little more consistently.
So explosives are more consistent because damage from weapons is calculated. Damage from falling, because on different versions of Windows, the global timer is differently. You reset your global timer to just when you start the game, you'll get it more effectively and more consistently.
And so we see Petite Miku here got the speed cripple, and he got the permanent version, so if you quick save and quick load once again, you will still have speed cripple. And yeah, I think the speed is like 160% or something.
Yeah, it's 160%, but you can also get the version, if you get it, and it is permanent, well, until you reload a previous save or cripple your legs again, it will make you walk at 36% speed. And that happens when it applies two crippling effect at the same time. So 60% of 60%, which is really bad. It's the speed run, we want to go fast.
And so since he headed towards Megaton first, might as well just keep walking towards the Jefferson Memorial, or I think he's going to the Citadel, yeah. And then, anywho, you can go to either, but the point is, he just wants to get those fast travel points, and then he'll make his way back to Vault 101 and then walk towards Little Lamplight.
And you'll notice here that he wasn't talked to by Brian Wilkes. Brian Wilkes every opportunity to ruin your run by...
Yeah. There's that kid that runs up and tells you that I think it was his dad that was taken or something by the ants. And so Brian Wilkes is the run ender that runs into you and makes you lose like 3 seconds.
Gives you the quest those.
So annoying.
With the ants.
Alright, so now we're back.
Him and a friend later we'll meet named Dwayne. The Raven Rock Johnson.
We've got some characters.
They go way back.
After every run that dies, they just go and get drinks. They just have a good time. They laugh at us.
Yeah, I mean, I know. Here you. Oh, that's another thing. Yeah, we escape the vault when we're 10 because.
Yeah, when you're 10 years old, you have them. You already reach peak running speed, or just movement speed. So if you leave when you're, is it when you're 10 or
13,
no? I think
yeah,
it's when you're like in your teenage years. I don't remember exactly which year, but
you can escape the vault when you're 10, but
you can escape the vault when you're a baby if you really would.
If you want to, if you want that third level of hell, you can sure do that. So yeah, this walking segment, there's a few different route optimizations that you can. Spectacular, nothing too entertaining. There's 3 or 4 different routes you can do that all take literally within. Now might be a good time to touch on walking speed, walking efficiency rather.
Oh yeah, you just want to try to stay in a straight line. Keep your frame rate consistent by not I guess Mika's doing some looking at the ground, some looking at the sky. Just making sure he's running in a straight line first. And just like many other Elder Scrolls games, your movement speed is linked to your FPS. And it looks like LT is about to finish up Alduin here, and that's time for Skyrim for him.
So coming up is another weird glitch that's pretty unique to Fallout. A glitch where you can swim in water out of bounds. It seems pretty easy to do and figure out, but it actually took us like 2 years after the community started running the game to figure it out. Basically, you out of bounds out of the world and you save in water, and then you can go out of bounds out of the water, but the game still thinks you're swimming. When you save, you just did, you'll load the game because the character's physics states are saved to the world, not the character. And when the game loads as it was saved before, except for object and character physics states. And there are 4 physics states in the game: falling from jumping, falling from a cliff, swimming, and walking.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're swimming before and after, it'll just think that you're still swimming.
So you'll see him, of course, go out of bounds to get to the COC, so he can skip the gate in Little Lamplight. And then when you're out of bounds swimming, he makes the save file when he's out of bounds and in water, then goes back in water, reloads the game, and now he can float across as if he's flying anywhere he wants to. And this saves like 10-15 seconds or so, just makes you go in a straight line to the door.
Yeah, and you can fly anywhere the height of the water is in that level. You can't fly any higher than that.
Yeah.
And still drown.
So here you're gonna see him. This is where making sure your health doesn't go to 0 comes into play. Having speed cripple helps a lot because you can dodge a lot of these shots, but
If he gets crippled at all, his speed defaults to like default cripple speed. So it's really bad to get crippled.
Yeah, his legs aren't actually crippled now. It's just the term. But if his legs were to actually get crippled, or even like, I think maybe also his head or something, but then his speed will completely slow down, back down to normal speed.
You can get crippled on any limb, and it shouldn't undo the leg, the speed, but random get your head crippled, make you walk at normal.
Yeah, it's weird.
And then Vault 87 is all kinds of.
Yeah, it's there's a bunch of clips here of just trying to go out of bounds and get on top of staircases.
Really, this section is just errors, and so it seems like this is not at all an optimal path, but it is definitely the more optimal path. So difficult to do that it's not worth it.
And alright, so all I gotta do here is get the Gek. And the biggest sequence break was actually pressing that button for the alarm. OMG, did your game crash? Oh, was that a game crash, or did he turn off his game for speed cripple purposes? Oh, it must have been speed cripple purposes.
He alt-tabbed.
Okay, okay. What a classy wallpaper.
Yeah, definitely. Then we have third person. Just a little bit ago did retrieval, which he had to rebind his keys for. I guess he did. But
yeah.
Clipbox is different in third person, is different than your hitbox in this game. So will put your interaction hitbox through walls, which lets you interact with objects through walls. You can also do the same thing to interact with your dad in Autumn. In Autumn was your dad, or your dad tries to kill Autumn with radiation.
Yeah. So it's really simple, but you just gotta stand up close to where the Gek is, go in third person, and then you can hold down whatever your third person key is and look around at the same time, and then use that to your advantage, because it's just a bug in the game where you can interact in the same direction that you're looking. So you can kind of shove your camera into where the Gek is.
There is a glitch that we kind of know why it happens, but it's not that you can skip this cutscene that just happened.
Yeah, very rarely do they walk out a lot faster. Sort of like they're pushing each other and they hit their flags a lot sooner. And then the cutscene right here happens a lot quicker when you're in Raven Rock now, which is where Petite Miku is.
Yeah, and sometimes it's a similar glitch to skipping dialogue, but sometimes the NPC quest stage will be skipped, and Autumn will have the wrong dialogue here, and if that happens, it's a soft lock, and you have to reload. Sometimes reloading the previous save helps, but sometimes you have to...
Yeah, almost any part in the run, sometimes there can be a crash here, or a soft lock here, or something like... So there's a lot of workarounds. Sometimes you might see them do weird things just to prevent those sort of instances. But these two are I believe the top two players. And
yes, right now.
Okay, yeah. And so they just go ham on everything that they do. So if something happens, then it happens.
Raven Rock, there's a few things that don't seem too difficult, but there's a lot of precise. There's 3 precise clips in Raven Rock. One is it's all the door to get to Eden. One of the more recent things that was implemented. It was discovered a while ago, but it wasn't implemented.
Yeah, it's the most recent of the 3.
Yeah, there's another clip out after Eden, after you get the Gek, and that is not that hard. So you have to have a pretty precise angle to clear the door. You actually clip into the wall first, and then the wall pushes you through the door.
And yeah, here we're coming up on Dwayne the Raven Rock Johnson. And he's going to have the rocket launcher, and so he's going to make sure to just quick save reload if he needs to dodge. Oh, he got hit. He got crippled multiple times. I'm not sure if he lost speed cripple, but I think he can get it back if he needs to. But he's already at the end of the game anyway, so yeah, he lost his speed cripple, it looks like.
If you lose speed cripple here, it's about a 40-second loss. It's not really that big of a deal. I go to Jefferson Memorial Building. I discovered a building, so you don't have to walk from Citadel to Jefferson Memorial. You'll have to walk the rest. You see,
so it's pretty good though. You've got a very strong lead to make up for it.
Swimming speed is the same.
About to approach here. He doesn't even have to get too close. He can just fast travel when he's about like 10 feet away from the blue wall.
His health is also pretty low, but he should be fine. He's susceptible to a critical hit.
And so there's going to be one more clip before the end of the run where you can either COC yourself to stand next to the keypad, or you can clip directly in. And it looks like he's trying to COC himself.
Clipping directly in is technically faster, but you have to get to up the ramp line.
Oh, the keypad. Got my finger on the split key.
Oh, and he got crippled again with the head shot. Good thing there's a quick save right there.
Alright, we're on to Fallout New Vegas now. Very good job, Petite Miku. And we're catching up with OMG here. Thank you, Renarth, for the commentary. I really appreciate it. And we're moving on to Ayer and Havard with commentary for New Vegas here.
Fuck Ayer and Havard.
Oh là là là. Ouais, juste attends, Nico, GG.
Oh my gosh.
GG, Nico.
Di piombo. Vado fiero del mio lavoro da ago, ma dovrai dirmi se ho lasciato qualcosa fuori posto. Come me la sono cavata? Beh, comunque la maggior parte mi è venuta bene, la roba che conta. Ok.
Hello. This is Air, and Havard should be joining us. Swags is also with us.
Hello, everybody.
So this is Fallout New Vegas. So I guess as just an initial recap, Fallout New Vegas is about this guy who shoots you in the head. You go for vengeance and realize there's a lot more to go. And I guess the first thing to notice is the quick save, quick load strats that are being used quite heavily in Doc Mitchell's house.
Yes, and the next thing you'll notice is about the special. We go for 10 agility and 10 charisma. This is for stats used later in the game, mostly for speech and for our reloading of our firearm. But you'll find out about that in a moment. Just talking to Doc Mitchell at the moment. We pick all the top options because they give us the exact stats we need, so we may as well pick them. Mostly just speech and survival. You need survival for a trait later called... sorry, I'm having a blank. It's fast.
Oh, fast travel, yeah.
No, it's yeah. Oh my god, I cannot remember. Anyway, we're outside now. He's going to be equipping the rocket launcher, and he's going to go say hello to Chet in the general store. He's going to be very nice and friendly to Chet. he's going to buy one Magnum 357 Magnum round and one 357 Magnum hollow point round. And then he's going to coerce him to give him 357 Magnum revolver. And then he's going to leave.
Yeah. And so what that revolver allows him to do is one of the most baffling things that you may see in a run, outside of what you're going to see in Fallout 4, which is this reload dash, which we actually found through a strange animation bug.
Yes. Yeah. The character animation when you load guns, which are one bullet at a time, seems glitched. So if you swap between the two ammos, go into your Pip-Boy and unequip it, it sends you forward flying. We know basically how it happens, we just don't know why it happens. It's a really strange glitch.
Yeah, and a new form of this reload dash was actually found quite recently in the past few months, where they actually use another glitch called the infinite reload to just cancel the animation for the reload altogether.
Yes, if you get an infinite reload by oh hello Neil, if you get an infinite reload by pressing the swap ammo button twice in quick succession, you can actually cancel that with a click. So you can get the bug, click out of it, and then tab, and you don't have to sit through the whole animation of him reloading. Saves quite a number of seconds throughout the run. Now we're going to go on our way to the monorail. Just had to go via Hidden Valley and Black Mountain because we'll be going back there later. So it seems the fastest way is to go to the strip is to go there now, find the fast travel points, and then head to the monorail to get us into the strip.
Yep, and you will see those fast travel points later on in the run. We definitely made all of these in order to do this, I guess, the fastest way possible by doing so. Oh,
Yep.
and
yeah, this monorail is at Camp McCarran. It's the one that takes you direct to the strip. And a little known fact, the access to the monorail is actually located on the outside world. You don't actually have to go into Camp McCarran, go all the way around. You can just jump straight up onto the monorail and go in. And now we're on the strip. Yep, now we're just going to walk through walls again because walls don't exist in this game. Just quick save and quick load next to it. You just walk straight through it, and we're now on the strip.
Mm-hmm. And we get to say hi to our favorite Securitron, Victor. Sorry, second favorite, next to Yes Man, who you will see later.
Yep, now we're just going to go into the Ultralux because we have to say hello to Mortimer. It is imperative that we say, well, I should say goodbye. We have to talk to Mortimer and say goodbye. That is imperative to finishing the game, apparently. So we have to do it.
Yep, and just so that you'll have an incredible knowledge of the White Glove Society.
Yep. Very knowledgeable. And then, I guess now's the time to explain the COC points since we didn't do it in Doc Mitchell. Now he's going to clip through the wall and he's going to fall through the wall and he's going to be placed back at the start. Basically, the game has an inbuilt function where if you fall out of bounds, it will set you to a specific point in the cell, and most of them are right next door to the entrances, so you'll be seeing us do it quite a bit. Now we're just going over to the tops and going to go and pay a visit to Benny.
Yep. But before we talk to Benny, we first have to talk to Swank, who we can then convince to give us back our weapons in order to do what needs to be done for Benny.
Yep, now you'll see he'll get 40, he'll go to survival to 45 and pick Black Widow. We need that to do the next part with Benny. And then he should be getting his speech all the way. He's just going to be leveling up his speech for the rest of the run. Now, Benny has a Black Widow speech option, so we're just going to use that. And then he's going to pick Travel Light is the name of that perk that I was trying to think of earlier. And now we're going to go and meet Benny in his room.
Oh, and there we have... Oh gosh, I almost thought that was a crash.
No, that's just how you do it. Now we're going to have sex with Benny, because that's what you should do in every video game, and then we're going to kill him in his sleep. We're going to loot him, and then we're going to go talk to Yes Man.
And it looks like Kung Cobra has just started his run as well.
Now that we've had sex with Benny, killed him, and we're just going to leave, just going to walk through the front door, going to take the elevator, nobody cares, nobody saw anything. Just going to clip through the wall, and then we're back on the strip. Now, one person we still haven't yet to talk to is Mr. House, so I suppose now's a good enough a time as any to do that. Yep, so we're going to go talk to Victor. He's going to stand at the front. Hey, yeah, you should come in and talk to him. Yep, okay, no probs. I'm going to go pay a special visit to Mr. House. So we want to go see Mr. House directly because we don't want to deal with his computer. So we're just going to walk through the walls because, you know, they're not there. And then we're going to take the back door into his special place, his little chamber. And then we really decide that we should probably change our mind. We don't really want to talk to him. What's quicker, talking to him or just shooting him in the face? So we're going to kill a defenseless old man who's in a chamber trying to survive for hundreds of years, and then we're just going to walk through the walls and leave again.
And so last thing that we have to do right now in New Vegas is go to Gamora.
Hey, nessuno.
Yep, we can.
And then we'll have a brief talk with the guy who stops us inside.
Yep. Oh, no special hat on the NCR trooper.
Oh,
you have to talk to that NCR trooper, otherwise your game soft locks. Because he will talk to you in Gamora instead of outside. And if he talks to you in Gamora, then the person in Gamora can't talk to you. So, therefore, the game soft locks.
And so now we are on our way to the Boomers, where we will have to talk to Mother Pearl in order to have full knowledge of the Boomers and decide to not join them as well.
Yep. Quickest way to go is that is through Freeside, so we just go through that. And then just fly our way over.
In some cases, literally fly.
Yep. For anybody who didn't know, who always saw that bridge up there, unfortunately that bridge is not solid. It has no collision. So sorry, you can't just go up there and start walking along it and walk out of bounds. There's plenty of other ways to get out of bounds. Unfortunately, that bridge is not one of them. So this is normally a very dangerous part where they start throwing in all the bombs and trying to kill you and such. Well, it's pretty easy to get through when you just fly through. So we just fly through that and nothing touches you.
And so now we just have to talk to Mother Pearl really quickly, and then we are off to the Brotherhood of Steel.
Yep. We discovered Hidden Valley earlier, so we can just fast travel back there now.
And yeah, got a good landing there, because sometimes you can go over the fence there and screw up your timing.
Yeah, then you've got to try and fast travel back without enemies being near you.
Yep. So now Sam's just going to clip through the walls again because they do not exist. And continue on to Red Rock Canyon.
Yep. Basically what happened there is you have to meet the Brotherhood of Steel. The best way to meet the Brotherhood of Steel is to just walk in and shoot them. Because, you know, what other way is there to actually meet somebody? So, yep, we're just going to head to Red Rock Canyon. It's easier to go in a straight line since you can fly, so you just go straight over all these hills. Why bother climbing over? Good walking around, just climb over. Normally this is a pretty scary area because there's lots of cazadors around, and if you go off a little bit, there's also some death claws and a heap of raiders, but
yeah, and nobody likes bugs, so we all just try to avoid the bugs as best as possible and just fly right over them.
Yep. But yeah, you can't kill what you can't catch. So yeah, there's Red Rock Canyon, named because there are red rocks around the canyon. They named that very well. And we're going to go meet the Great Khans. Well, when we say meet the Great Khans, we're going to do what the game thinks is meeting the Great Khans. When really we're just going to exist in their space. And existing in their space is enough to get to know them. Therefore, we complete that part of the quest.
Yep. Living in their space for about 2 seconds is just about as good as you're going to meet anyone.
Yep. So now we go back to the strip. We've now met everybody. So we're going to go tell Yes Man that we've met everybody. Just going to skip over that gate. You don't need to go through that gate to actually load the next zone. It's already loaded. So.
And one fun thing to note here is that all the audio is in Italian because that is the fastest way. It's hard to really pick that up considering how much we skip, but it exists, and it's only there for only a 4-second save at Doc Mitchell's house.
Yeah, because we're going to skip everything else. We're now going to go and install Yes Man into the computer because we killed an old defenseless man, and we're now going to have an AI run us. Nice view of the character right there. Nothing better than the default skin. And now Mr. House had a whole demonstration planned, so we obviously have to go and watch this whole demonstration, right? You know, he had it all planned out for us, ready to go. Yeah, no, we're just going to quick save, quick load, and then wait to skip the lines of dialogue.
Yeah,
you can
there's
see
quite a few though, so we've got to wait for 14 times.
Yep, you can see how he's in third person, and it gives him the option down the bottom to use the elevator, because basically when you're in third person, this happened before. You can actually interact with objects that are further away than what you should be able to interact with. So basically, if you're in first person, you can't interact with this elevator because the walls there preventing you from doing that. But when you're in third person, it's just like, no, you can see through that wall. It's fine. Just use the elevator. And we skip the end of the cutscene there. We go back and talk to him to get the next bit. It's like, hey, you should go and save President Kimball. No, I don't want to do that. Okay, you don't have to. So now we're going to go to El Dorado to implant the platinum chip.
Yeah, so this is the last thing we have to do before going to the Hoover Dam.
Yep, Black Mountain's pretty close to there, so that's why we discover that. We just fly there. And in 2 lots of flies, we can go into El Dorado. Normally there's a woman outside here that likes to stop you from going in. He was lucky he didn't get her. Well, when I say that, she just tells you not to go in. We clearly listen to her advice, and then we go back to the strip. No Old Ben. Yeah. There's a character there that can catch you called Old Ben, and he is the most annoying character you can think of.
Yeah, often, especially in that last piece, he can appear just right in front of you, and you can't stop it.
Yep. So now we're going to go and get to the last bit of the game. We've done everything that the game has requested of us to aid in the help of the Battle of Hoover Dam. So now we're just going to go and do the Hoover Dam.
All right, now let's see. Looks like he's going to do the safe strats. There is a new strat. Possibly Konkoba will do it when he gets to that point. But right now he's just gonna go over on top of this place, so we don't have to go into the water or go into the dam.
Yep. Normally with that building there, you have to go into the building on the side. You have to walk all the way through. You have to install a chip, and then you have to do something else for Yes Man, and it's just really tedious when you can just fly over it. So that's what we do.
And now into Legate Lanius's camp. All of this time, we've been waiting for the Great Battle of Hoover Dam and the final battle against Lanius. Except when you get 100 speech, you don't have to fight him at all.
Yep, so he's just going to walk up to here. He's going to be a nice fella and use his words. And done. He's beaten. Now we just have to go and tell the NCR that they're beaten too. So he's just going to go back to the gate. One last level up makes absolutely no difference.
Yeah, and he uses...
Well, he's going to use time stop. This glitch, we still also don't know about this one, but basically you're able to right-click quicker than what the map is able to bring up. So you bring your map, you spam right-click, you bring your map up, you take it back down, and it leaves that message there where time is actually stopped, but yet you can move around and also change ammo types for some silly reason. And that's General Oliver spoken to, and now we talk to Yes Man.
And that is New Vegas.
That is New Vegas.
Yep. Good job, New Salmon on the run.
Alright, so we're starting Fallout 4 now. Gingenia on the side of Tunnel Snakes has just started. Okay, so this first part of the run is the intro. This is pre-war in Fallout 4. And for a speedrun, it's not very friendly. Essentially, we don't get much control, so we can't really do much. Essentially, the game is just a jump of a load of hoops we have to jump through. First one is to talk to Codsworth. Then we have to wait for him to hear Sean cry. We talk to Codsworth, then we talk to Nora. Then it's a slightly long wait while we wait for the Vault-Tec salesman to arrive. When the salesman arrives, we're going to create our character. We're going to give ourselves 10 endurance, 10 agility, and 4 intelligence. The endurance reduces how fast our AP bar drains when we're sprinting. The agility gives us action points. And the intelligence gets us more XP, which gets us more levels, which allows us to get perks which give us endurance and reduce the rate at which our action points drain. The reason we do that is because in the glowing sea, which we have to run through, we need as much sprinting as possible in order to save time. So you can see Jin now, he's putting points in. And he's doing the rest of the intro now, which is the same sort of thing, we just talk to people. It seems like the bombs don't seem to drop until you spin the mobile for Sean, which is quite interesting. You might notice that the game is in French. The reason for that is because I believe it's 19 seconds faster, which, you know, for a speedrunner, that's easy time, so that's good. Jin's gonna have one line here with Nora. Gonna talk to Nora for that one line, and then that's when Codsworth brings you over. At this point, we now have to wait for the door to open, which just it automatically opens for some reason. the TV guy will probably say, "My God," and that's when the door will open. You'll probably see it.
And then we want to go to the vault as fast as possible. Go through the over the fence, and we will need to talk to a guard that will let us through. And if you mash fast enough, you can actually skip a few dialogue lines and just go right past him while he is talking.
Yeah, exactly. You have to press it when you hear the T in list. You see, he's got the second line there. That waits about 4 seconds, I believe. And then we just run as fast as possible to the platform.
Accroche-toi, on peut pas aller plus vite.
Now the bombs will drop and we will enter the vault. We will need to slowly walk towards the NPC that will give us the vault suit, and once we get the vault suit we want to go to the cryopod where we will get decontaminated.
Yeah, once again, we don't have much control in this area, so it's just a case of walking. You can save like 2 seconds by grabbing the vault suit slightly later, because that way you're further ahead when the doctor starts sprinting toward you. Okay, tomatoes now started. Guess he'll just do the same thing really. There's not much else to do in the intro.
Yeah, it is possible for the technician run into you, which can make you save like 1 or 2 seconds maybe.
Yeah. Yeah, once again, just there's very little to commentate here. We'll see a cutscene when he goes into the cryo chamber. That lasts about a couple of minutes. What he'll do after he exits the pod is a series of cone clips. What that means is he'll pick up a cone and use it to climb upwards in a corner, which will put him out of bounds, essentially through the walls. He'll use this to go through Vault 111 much faster, skipping Vadroach combat and stuff like that. What else he'll do is, when he grabs the gun in the terminal room, he'll use it to set up a cover slide in Vault 111. Now what that means is, he'll use his gun to go into cover, he'll go into third person, and he'll go out, he'll take his gun off, and the game will still think he's behind cover. So what happens is, he puts his gun away, and that stops him from sliding back. And that'll store his coordinates, so that when he gets his gun out in the world map, he'll zoom towards the center of the map. Now, the reason this happens is because in an interior cell, your coordinates are local to that cell, and they sort of are centered around 0. So on world map scale, that tends to be right at the center. So we go zooming towards that. But what we do is we end up stopping around Sanctuary, which is what we want because we need to go into the Museum of Freedom. Okay, so now Tomato's waiting for a door to open so we can jump over the hedge and get to Vault 111.
And with cover slides, for the first cover slide that we do in the run, we don't have power armor. That means that we can take fall damage. And it's rather easy for the very first cover slide to zoom too high, and then you fall from pretty high and just die. That's what happens pretty often. For the other cover slides, we will have power armor. Power armor negates any fall damage.
Yeah, that's true. When we come out of the vault, you'll see the runners lower their FPS so that they don't fall as far. There are several different spots which are useful when it comes to the initial cover slide. Some of the slides will discover Sanctuary, which you need later on in the game for when you're building teleporter. Some will go near the red rocket, which you can also use for the teleporter. You need at least one. If you get the red rocket, there's a little strat you can do where you grab a Nuka-Cola Quantum, which can give you AP during the Glowing Sea run. Okay, so we got Jin doing some cone clips here. He's exited the cryo chamber. These cone clips are notoriously hard. They're just very unforgiving. It tends to rely on how well you initially pick it up, and wow, I've never seen that before. Doesn't really save any time, but that was just interesting. Okay, if you stand closer to the terminal, it doesn't do as long of an animation where you try and look at it. You need to open that door, else it messes with the Minutemen later on. You can't just start clipping around instead of opening it. But you need the gun and the stimpaks anyway, so it's worth doing. Okay, this is the second cone clip. Okay, nice. There's a chance of getting soft lock there if you fall in a certain position. And here you see him setting up the cover slide. Goes into cover, third person, puts his gun away. So now the game thinks he's behind cover there, but he's got his gun away, so it doesn't trigger the cover slide to happen.
Yeah, because if you trigger the cover slide while being on the elevator, which can happen, I don't know exactly how it happens, but if you do a certain action, you can trigger it on the elevator, and you basically slide against the door of the elevator, and that will be a soft lock.
It also, you lose your cover slide as well, so you have to reload your save. As you can see, he's got 30 FPS here, which he needs for the slide. Ah, Tomato's playing Pokemon. It's a good tradition. Tends to play Nintendo games. Stuff like that during his runs. Okay, so we got Jin cover sliding now. Let's see what kind of slide he gets. He's discovered Sanctuary, which is great. Fortunately, he's died, so that's going to lose him time. If I'm not mistaken, he'll have to set up the cover slide again. Okay, no, he's going to run. Okay, that's fair enough. At least he'll still get Sanctuary, guaranteed. I don't know how much time this loses, but it's a fair amount. So that gives a bit of an opportunity for Tomato to catch up there. He's heading towards the Museum of Freedom because we need to, what Jin needs to do right now is clear out the Museum of Freedom. Firstly, he needs to do it for XP. He gets you a lot of XP, which is very useful. Secondly, he needs to do it so that the Minutemen are accessible. Later on in the run, he'll climb up the wall with a fusion cell, so we can get inside through the balcony, but that's usually inaccessible if you don't clear out the Museum of Freedom. So he'll do that. Okay, so outside of the Museum of Freedom are quite a few raiders. He's going to kill the ones with pipe pistols, because he needs those later for item climbing. And pipe pistols are really good for climbing.
Yeah, so when we were talking about cone clipping, the basics is just that if you hold an item in your hand that is close enough to yourself, you can look at your feet and walk backwards into a wall, and that will push you up. In case of cone clipping, it just let us clip through the ceiling, which allowed us to skip a part of Vault 101. And we will use Vault 111, sorry. And we will use item climbing with pistols a lot because they are very cooperative for climbing walls.
Yeah, they're probably the best item to climb with in the game. Okay, now Jin's gonna look in these chem coolers for jet or buff out. I'm not sure whether he got any. He's been looting the containers pretty fast. Oh, there's a Nuka-Cola Quantum there. He could have picked that up, but he hasn't. That usually saves you a bit of time on the Glowing Sea run. And it looks to me like Tomatoes clipped through there quite fast. Let's see how he does on the second clip. We ignore Preston as usual because that's what everybody does in this game. Tomatoes having problems there. Now I believe Jin has set up another cover slide, which is going to trigger now that he has the power armor. And I think if you saw earlier, he picked up a fusion core as well, so that the power armor is actually powered.
Yes. So now that you have the power armor, you can freely cover slide without the risk of dying from fall damage. Now, as said before, because we set up the cover slide in an interior cell, it will now try to zoom us towards the coordinates from the interior cell. But since we are on the world map, it will zoom us to the coordinates on the world map, which is near green tech.
Yeah. Wow, that's a really nice green tech slide. Pretty decent, to be honest.
You're not guaranteed to land in that spot every single time. You can sometimes land pretty far from it, but that's a very good cover slide.
Yeah.
Now he's heading towards the sewer, where he will in a very strange way clip out of bounds and get a quest that he will need later in the game.
Yeah, exactly. This is in the casual playthrough. This is the final. In the final quest for the Minutemen, this is where you would normally go, and you go through a pipe, which triggers the last quest of the Minutemen quest line, where you blow up the Institute. But if you load a save in the pipe from the main menu, it will put you outside the pipe, so you can swim underwater, rub up against the pipe you use in the Minutemen, and that will give you the nuclear option. So you can just see there, Jin's got that. Okay, so I wasn't watching Tomato, but it seems like his cover slide went well. I'm not sure whether he got Sanctuary or Red Rocket, so we'll find that out later in the run. In terms of the pipe pistols, which I forgot to mention, you need about, I believe, five or six for your run. For the various clips and stuff you need to go out of bounds. Okay, so use that enamel bucket to climb up onto the bridge. Better hope these people don't block your path. Exactly like that. Well, it's okay. He didn't slow him down too much.
He nicely got over the dog.
He did. It was good. Let's see if Tomato gets anything from these chem coolers. Oh, nice. He's got jet.
Not from the first one.
He got jet on the second one. And he's got a quantum. Wow. The chance on that quantum isn't that high. For both runners to get it, it's pretty impressive.
Nice.
Although only Tomato.
And Tomato picks it up.
Yeah, that's good. Okay, so now Jin has jumped into. He's jumped into the load box essentially for Good Neighbor, so it means you don't have to run a little bit further down to the actual door. For some reason, that's just an exposed part of Good Neighbor, which that makes sense. Okay, Jin's on the shopping part now. This is where he's going to buy quite a few things. He's going to use a glitch which gives him infinite store credit. You buy all 38, you sell one back, and you sell it all back, but you still have one, so you keep selling that one over and over. And that gives you infinite store credit. Okay, so he's getting Radaway and stim packs for the Glowing Sea. He's stealing the Fat Man and the mini nuke for Kellogg later on. He's got the Destroyer's left leg, which gives him 10% extra move speed during the run, which is great for obvious reasons. I didn't see what else he got. I believe he got jet, which he needs, so that's good. So now both runners have jet. Let's watch Tomato's cover slide now. See where this lands him. And don't worry about the fact that everyone at Good Neighbor is attacking him, because later on in the run, they all ignore him. Ooh, oh wow, that's not good. He's in the sea, he's in the river, so now he's going to have to swim all the way to Green Tech.
Yeah, bad luck for Tomato.
That's
now,
really bad luck.
One thing to note on that cover slide is that it's also possible to get stuck in Lexington, I believe it's called.
Yes.
and Lexington is really far away from tech. So when that happens in the run, it's usually reset.
Yeah. Although probably not in this one. But anyway, he's fine. He's got it. I think a real rip run is if he doesn't discover Lexington, because he's going to need that later on. Essentially, I mean, he can run from green tech, but it's going to waste a lot of time. What I'm not sure about here is what is Tomato going to do for Kellogg? I guess he'll have to jump in the river, essentially, to get the power armor. Okay.
Yeah, and on Gingenia's side, when he got out of Good Neighbor, he basically equipped everything he bought, and he also leveled up Action Boy and Solar Powered. Solar Powered, which gives you +2 endurance and +2 strength between 6 AM and 6 PM.
And Action Boy, I believe it reduces action point drain by 25%, something along those lines. It's useful for action points. Here, you just saw Jin clipped over the Diamond City wall so that he could jump into the load box for Diamond City. The reason he needs to go to Diamond City is so that he can get Jewel of the Commonwealth, which is one of the quests for Act 1 of the game. You need this so that when you talk to Nick Valentine later on in the game, he doesn't just ignore you or whatever. Or do some annoying dialogue which softlocks you.
Where is your son? What happened?
Sorry?
That is basic. That is, well, if a softlock that can happen at Nick is him constantly repeating, "Where is your son? What happened?"
Yeah, that's really annoying. I think if you, like Dino, if you've ever done the casual playthrough, Dino, he's talking to a guy called Dino. If you go too nearby to him, that can happen. Okay, we've got... So now, essentially, Jin is doing his glowing sea run, which is, there's nothing really interesting about it, apart from the fact that he runs past a suicider. So, obviously, I hope he doesn't die, but it would be entertaining. Okay, here we've got Tomato buying his stuff. He's managed to get Bourbon and Buff out, which is great for his glowing sea run. That'll give him, I believe, 3 endurance, which is useful. I'll save him some time. He's got his jet already. He's got the Destroyer's leg as usual. Yeah.
Also,
so
we talked earlier about the Nuka-Cola Quantum. What the Nuka-Cola Quantum does is when you use it, it fully restores your action points, which is very useful for this part where you need to run to Virgil's cave, which is very far away.
that's true. So actually, I think Tomato's got the ultimate sort of setup. Well, I guess he could have 2 Nuka-Cola Quantums, which is possible, but he doesn't, I don't think. Oh, wow. Of course I say that, and he has 2 Nuka-Cola Quantums. It's hard trying to watch both streams at the same time. Yeah, I think this is an optimal glowing sea run for him.
So I believe Gingenia has not.
That's what I think as well. Like I say, hard to watch 2 streams at the same time. Okay, so Tomatoes. Did he level up the 2 perks?
I didn't catch that.
I didn't either. I assume so. He's a good runner. Yeah, so that's the route you usually take for getting to Diamond City. Jin took a different route when he did it. I'm not sure why, but I doubt it loses that much time. Through the glowing sea, he's going to use the Radaway he picked up during the shopping split. Probably like 3 or 4 of them. You always end up having enough. He's also going to set up a cover slide at the glowing sea as well. This is so that he'll slide toward it from Vault 111, and he'll try and stop halfway. And he'll use his power armor in order to make the cover slide last longer and to be able to control it better. There are some rad scorpions near where he needs to set it up though, so he needs to quick save just in case he messes it up. His glowing sea run at the moment, It's not the usual one I see. He's a little bit to the left. It doesn't really matter too much.
I think that everyone has like his way through the glowing sea.
It is true, yeah. Although I'm sure some runs are more optimal.
Yeah, but usually on such long walking segment where you just need to go from point A to point B, there might be like slight differences between everyone's run.
Yeah.
Now, a good thing we could talk about now while everyone is Virgil's Cave is load warping.
Yep.
Now, load warping is a glitch that allows you to warp with your current character into an older save. So when both runners entered the sewers, they made a hard save, and they will also make a hard save in front of Virgil's Cave. Now, how it's executed is at one point, like now the runners will go and kill Kellogg, and once Kellogg is when Kellogg is dead, they will activate a terminal to go further in the quest. After that, the runners will quick save, and they will load. I believe it's the sewers.
Yes.
The sewer save. What they are gonna do then with that older character from the past, it's still the same character, but a save that has been made previously in the run. They will exit the sewers, and while the screen is fading, they will quick load. And what will happen is that after the loading screen, they would be at the outside of the sewers, but with the character from the quick load.
Yeah, exactly.
And that allows us to quickly get out of buildings by just simply not having to go to the exit, but just loading a save that is like near the world map. And that way you can save a lot of time. And the reason we also make a hard save in front of Virgil's Cave is because we will have to go multiple times back to Virgil, which can easily be done by just quick saving and then load warping into Virgil's Cave.
Yeah. So now Gingenia has fast traveled to Green Tech Genetics, so he can get into his power armor, which he'll need for when he slides from Vault 111. You can save a little bit of time. If you position your power armor right at the fast travel point, you can enter it whilst the screen is fading in. So he's fast traveling to Vault 111. He's going to go into third person, get his gun out, and then press tab twice to open his Pip-Boy and put it back down again. And for whatever reason, maybe Miku, you could explain, he will do some of his cover slide.
Yes, well,
I assume he gets his gun out. Like in first person.
So when you're in first person and you take your gun out, you will go towards where you set up the cover slide, and that is what we did in the beginning, I believe, like the very first cover slide.
Yes.
And the reason we are now in third person, we are now in third person with our gun out, and we press tab, and the cover slide gets triggered. I believe it's because we open our Pip-Boy, and that puts us like in first person with our gun drawn out. So that initiates the cover slide, and you can press tab. Doing it this way, you can press tab over and over again to bring you further, like to zoom once more. There is, however, a limit, I believe, that after a certain time, you will not get further anymore.
Something like
and here,
5.
Yeah, and here you want to look out for where Fort Haven is, because you can actually go way past Fort Haven, and you want to get as close as possible at Fort Haven. So the runners probably have a visual cue of when they need to stop pressing tab, and you basically stop pressing tab, and then you will just fall down. One thing that you need to watch out for, if you get back into first person, you can get an extra like zoom towards where you set up the cover slide.
Yeah, that's usually horrible for your run. Gingernia got a semi-far Kellogg slide, but it wasn't too bad. It didn't lose him too much time. Here we see he kills Kellogg with the fat man we stole from Good Neighbor. Now that sequence breaks the Act 1 quest line straight to the end of it. So you've got Kellogg's brain parts, and you need to go tell Nick about it. So here he's going to load warp on the Diamond City load thing, which will put him there. And then he's going to fast travel to Park Street Station, I believe. Yeah. And there he'll clip his way through the level to talk to Nick. Let's see how Tomato's doing. I believe he's going to Green Tech Genetics now. Yeah, so Tomato's power armor is in the river, and it's night, unfortunately, so he's going to have to go fishing. I think
that's really unfortunate.
It is very unfortunate, but to be honest, I don't think it. Well, I say that. This is taking him quite a long time. Oh wow, yeah. So he's going to go fishing for his power armor, which will lose him a lot of time. But once he finds it,
I think he could open his minimap and there would be a power armor. Yeah, that's what he just did.
Yeah, exactly. Good thinking. Okay, where's Gingernia now? I believe, yes, he's in Park Street Station. So now he's going to do a horizontal gun clip. It's actually what he did in Fort Hagen as well, just didn't mention it. He's going to horizontally clip through the wall using a pipe pistol as usual. Sometimes that can happen, which loses you a bit of time. You just reload your quick save. Sometimes that happens where your gun's invisible. Now he's going to sprint, walk off to drop down. Fortunately, he's fallen off, which you need to quick load for that. So it ruins your run. Tomato's found his power armor. Jin's now going to walk, well, rather sprint, over these rails until he gets to this point just here, where he's going to sprint jump onto this rock, fall down, and try and interact with a door that's there. He quick loaded because he knew he was too far away from it. Let's see how Tomato's cover slide is. He's used my strat from in order to do it from a standing position. But we'll see how the rest of his actual slide goes. Okay, so Jin's got that jump and interaction. He's now clipping upwards. Wow, that's a really fast Park Street Station right there. And Valentine hasn't even soft locked. Perfect. So now he's going to talk to Valentine. Quick save, load warp. He's going to load warp on the sewer, I believe, so we can fast travel to Good Neighbor. But let's just watch Tomato now on his cover slide. I believe he's used 2 charges, perhaps? Maybe 1. I can't remember. Okay. So... Okay, no, that low warp... Sorry, that cover slide's fairly decent. He's near the stairs.
Pretty good.
Yeah.
One thing that we didn't mention at the start is by skipping the vault door opening like cutscene, your character never brushes off his Pip-Boy, making it that the Pip-Boy stays dusty for the whole run.
Yeah, that's true. Forgot about that. So that can, if you load warp on the sewer, you've then got cloudy water and dust, paradoxically, on your Pip-Boy. So it's hard to see where you're trying to fast travel to. So perhaps that's why Jin's using Diamond City. Okay, so he's load warped and now he's going to Good Neighbor. He's doing this so that he can do the memory den quest, which he talked to Amari. Thankfully, he already has the fast travel point because he went there earlier during the shopping split. Oh, I forgot to mention. Tomato just then picked up a military circuit board at Kellogg. He's going to need that for the run later. He's going to need it for the run later because he needs it for building the teleporter. You specifically need it to build a part of the teleporter.
I don't know if we mentioned it, but during the shopping, we also want to look for a biometric scanner. which we also need to build the teleporter.
That is true. I totally forgot about that. I'm not sure whether either runner has it. I'm not sure.
I believe Tomato has it. I've seen it in the vendor list.
Okay. If
And
Jin doesn't have it, then he'll have to. There's a couple of places he can get one. One is on his way to the railroad. You can see he just picks up a bone cutter. We need that for wiring for generators for the teleporter. And he can get it in Virgil's cave. Those places all have turrets which drop biometric scanners. Okay, now Jin's going to use a strat here where he waits for an audio cue. I think it's continue, and he will just enter, exit. Sorry, he'll exit, enter, and then he'll run towards Amari, and that saves a few seconds, I believe. Because there's a part of the dialogue with Nick and Amari where they just talk to each other, and you can't skip it by shooting or anything like that. Okay, so he's pulled it off successfully because Dr. Amari is typing away. He gets to talk to her. I think, yeah. So now he's going to shoot her. What that does is it gets Nick up, and then you take her out. When she's on the floor, sort of dead, it's not like she can do her next two lines, so the game just lets you go straight into the memories. Okay, Tomato failed the first sprint jump off, but he's got it now. So we'll see how he does on the second part of the Park Street Station split. Jin's currently Jin now has a part of the game where he has to just walk through Kellogg's memories and listen to Kellogg, watch a cutscene for 2 minutes.
It's basically an auto-scroller.
Yeah. Okay, nice. Tomato got the sliding door there. Second try. We'll see how fast he gets the clip upwards and the run towards Nick. Jin did a really fast one. I can see that Tomato's got one pipe pistol left. Let me think to myself. He's gonna need one for railroad. Is that it though? I'm not sure if he'll need an extra pipe pistol. It doesn't matter anyway. If he needs another one, he can pick one up off the dead body, good neighbor.
Or he can just he can also just use his 10mm.
Well, actually, he can't use the 10mm pistol. He could, it's true, but if he uses it, he can use it later on during the Institute split to shoot Preston, if only for the satisfaction of it. But also to skip 3 lines as he walks out of the teleporter.
Yeah, but in case he would forget to pick another one when he needs it, he always has the 10mm as backup.
That is true. And he also has the enamel bucket he picks up at the boat. He has that to use. It's not the best to clip with, but it's doable. It's doable in the railroad anyway. That clip's not too difficult.
You could also clip with the fat man, although that is not recommended.
No.
The bigger the items you try to clip with, the worse your results will be.
Yeah, I tried once to clip in Park Street Station with the minigun. That's not really doable.
I did that too, and ended up successfully clipping after I pulled out a pipe pistol, of course.
Yeah. And as you can see, Jin is just standing in the corner. He's standing in the corner because it helps. Like this part can sort of soft lock, or it can just stop. If you accidentally press E on something, you'll hear Kellogg, talk for like ages, which lose a lot of time. So just stay in the corner and just wait. Tomato's in the memory den quest now. Just skipping through that dialogue with Amari and Nick.
Yes. So one thing that you can actually do is cover slide. I believe cover slide into the cutscene to go into the memory den, and if you do that, you will actually be in third person. However, you will be invisible. Well, kind of invisible. You will look like a ghost, which is kind of funny to see. Would have been nice if someone did that.
Yeah. Okay, I think Jin's coming up to the end now. He's just learned that the Institute used teleportation, and he'll exit through the TV. Tomato just used the glitch to skip conversation with Nick and Amari. Believe it was successful. Yep. I think he got slightly faster Amari there because she wasn't typing on a console. Okay, Jin's leaving now. He's going to shoot Amari in the head. Oh no, in the chest. Sorry, my bad. That instantly progresses the quest. He's going to quick save to the glowing sea. Because normally at this point in the game you would walk the glowing sea. But he's already done it, made a hard save, and now he's load warping on that.
Poor Amari coming back to life just to get shot again.
Yeah, it's true. Only women. Yeah. A lot of people get shot for the sake of speed. Unfortunately. Okay, so now Jin's talking to Virgil. If you spam too hard through the dialogue with this guy, he can lock up, and annoyingly he locks up for quite a while. Not ridiculously long, maybe 7 seconds, something like that. But it can be quite annoying. Oh yeah, I believe he just did it then. And Tomato's doing the memory then. I think I'd say there's probably a 5-minute, maybe 6-minute, 7-minute gap between the two runners. Once Jin's finished talking to Virgil, yeah, he's going to go to Green Tech Genetics to go kill the Corsair. In the casual playthrough, you'd try and go to CIT, then you would use your Pip-Boy to look at the radio and check the strength of a signal or something. What you can do is just go straight to Green Tech Genetics, which you know is where the Corsair is, and just go in there. So that's what he's going to do. Something useful you can do, like in your runs, if you need to know if you've load warped correctly, and you're not accidentally on an old character, you can check these loading screens. As you can see, you've got the Corsair chip there, so he knows that he's on the right quest. He's on an up-to-date character. Okay, so for Green Tech, he's going to pick up a trash can, which is just near the door. He's going to run towards some broken stairs, item climb up them. The trash can's really good for climbing. He's going to climb up that, climb up a wall, and then do some running up some stairs. He's got his switchblade out, not sure why. All good. I think he needs to be a bit closer to that maybe. It's really strange.
For talking to Virgil, where you said that if you spam too fast, you can have the dialogue like free and have to wait. I've seen Tomato do an interesting strat where he was spamming the down arrow to proceed through dialogues, and he was jumping at the same time, spamming jump and down arrow. Don't know if it's just for like style points, but he was just spamming and didn't get any single freeze when I've seen him do.
That was purely for style points, and it's not proven whether it does anything. Okay, Jin just used he just set up a new glitch that I found very recently. I could have sworn he said he wasn't going to use it in the run, but I guess he is now. And as you can see, that skips an entire part of the run where you have to climb with a box. I think overall it saves you 2 seconds, but it's also a lot more reliable. Essentially what happens is, if VATS can't, when you attack something in VATS, a melee attack, it tries to put you next to it. If it can't put you next to it, it goes into a weird state where it just puts you back where you were standing when you initiated the attack with VATS. But if you cancel your attack, you're still in that state. So the next time you attack something in VATS, it puts you back at the first coordinates, the first place you initiated an attack in VATS, which if you set up your coordinates in a different cell, the point is that those coordinates put you right next to where you need to be, near the mini nuke, so you can load your Fat Man. Picking up the mini nuke, when you don't have the Fat Man equipped, instantly puts the mini nuke in your Fat Man for some reason. And then you kill the Corsair using the Fat Man. Oh, what was that about? As we kill the Corsair using the Fat Man, you quick save, and I believe you then load warp on the glowing sea. Oh no, of course you need to go to Lexington. So you would load warp somewhere like Diamond City or Sewer, and then you need to fast travel to Lexington. I believe Gingenia has the Lexington fast travel point. If he doesn't, that's going to be some running. Did he miss out the split? Is he going straight to the railroad?
I'm a little bit behind on the stream, so I can't really tell right now.
Just refresh.
Yeah, but the thing is, I refreshed, and with the direct streams, I have more delay than if I watch RPG on mid-break.
Okay. So you can see Gingenia, okay, so he definitely didn't have a biometric scanner. So he tried to destroy that. So he's going to keep farming that, actually. He still hasn't got one, so he's going to be quick loading. Yeah, he still hasn't got one. This is unlucky for him. He still hasn't got one. I'm not sure what the drop rate is on it. It's not that bad, but I mean, usually by this point, you should at least have one. Maybe this one I'll give it him. Hey, there we go. So he's got a biometric scanner, which is good. I believe he has almost everything for the teleporter. The rest he'll get in the railroad, which is where he's running now. Tomato still talking to Virgil. He's going to do the green tech. Yeah, the Corsa. Oh, okay. Gingenia's doing another what we call punch warp. So he's setting it up outside here with the mine. That's the reason he has the switchblade out, so he can melee attack. It means you can bind it to the quick bar and quickly get it out, because there's no way to bind just fists to your quick bar. So he's going to throw the mine, he's going to attack it in VATS, and that puts him out of bounds, drops down, COCs, which means he teleports to a point in the interior cell, which the game has deemed to be one of the centers. There's a few COC points you can have in a level. It drops you near the nearest one, I believe.
There is only like one COC center on cell per cell, actually. That's like the default position of the cell, the area. And when you get out of bounds and you reach like the limit of the cell, the game will automatically teleport you to the center on cell. It's like a safety for the game to not lose you.
I think you're right in that there's only one like COC point, but I think you can have the COC point, and if you go under certain rooms, it will just sort of up warp you. It'll put you back up. But if you COC, it'll put you at a point, a specific point.
I didn't know that.
Like, Jin hasn't done the prototype split yet. But I think you'll see something like that unless he uses the mines again to punch warp, which is likely. But in the prototype, you used to be able to like use a cape pan to glitch out, and then you would go underneath the room you enter, and that up warps you. And it definitely doesn't COC you because you can see that. Oh yeah, Tomato's gone for the box climb instead of the punch warp there. Yeah, so
yes. Now that you say so, I remember in the institute when you need to like jet jump, you can get under the room in front of the door, and it upwards you in front of the door.
Yeah, exactly. That's an example of one. Okay, so Jin has decoded the Corsa chip now. That sulfur N line is the line he needs to listen for, so he can load warp out. He needs to talk to Virgil now, so he'll load up on Diamond City. He'll fast travel probably to the Rocky Cave. Then we'll talk to Virgil, who will give him plans for the teleporter. Let's have a look at Tomato. Okay, so he's going to Lexington now, and he's doing the prototype prototype split. I don't know if Jin's doing like... Jin needs to join one of the factions. Ah, see, okay, so Jin's now doing the Lexington. So actually, they're both doing the same split now, even though one person's ahead. Jin's ahead. So Tomato's going to use a punch swap here as well. He's got his mine at the ready. Picks up that coffee cup. Don't know if you need it, but you can. It's pretty much a free coffee cup to get. Free ceramic for the teleporter. Well, not specifically for the teleporter. It's for the generators. Okay, so Tomato is going to throw a mine in there. That's on it. Doesn't work. Picks it up. Well, rather it does work. He's going to climb up here. He's going to drop down and he's going to pick up Carrington's prototype. What that does is sequence breaks the railroad quest. So the next time you go to the railroad, you can just instantly join them. And you need to join them in order to be able to build the teleporter with... Well, you need to join a faction in order to build the teleporter. So we joined the railroad because it's the quickest. Jin just died because he didn't have enough health. Dropping down. And as you can see, oh no. Yeah, he's gonna have to use the backup strat there of just using a pipe pistol to clip out. It seems like his setup for the punch swap wasn't actually a setup at all. Oh, he's got a free pipe pistol though, I guess, to use. But it's not helping him at all. Normally we'd use a cake pan. He's using the backup strat, which involves powering the elevator and just riding it up, which takes quite a while. It's not mega time loss, but it takes a while. Tomato is now doing the relay split. So he's climbing up Museum of Freedom. I mentioned this earlier, you need that door to be accessible. He's coming in, and he's going to go steal a holotape from Sturgis. That holotape spawns, I believe, when you get the nuclear option quest. And you use that to teleport in the Minutemen. You need the Minutemen so that Preston gives you a fusion bomb, which you blow up the Institute with. He's load whopping out. Okay, so Jin's leveling up Pickpocket, or not, I'm not sure. The reason you level up Pickpocket is so that Sturgis doesn't get angry, and the rest of the Minutemen. Otherwise, when you teleport them in, they'll start attacking you. It's sort of a rip run. I believe, so Tomato now has to go to the railroad, but Jin, what's he need to do? Well, I think he still needs to actually join the railroad. He needs to talk to him first, because he's dropped the prototype, he's exited the switchboard, but now he needs Deacon to tell Des how amazing the mission went, and Des needs to say that he's joined the railroad. Let's see, he's going to get the relay. Okay, so I don't think it's actually lost him any time by doing the prototype split out of order, because after this relay split, I believe he's going to fast travel to the railroad. Is that correct? Yeah. Maybe it's, loses him a bit of time. I'm not too sure. But he's going to do the same thing you've seen Tomato just do. Okay, so he's doing like an old strat where you pick up the cups in the Museum of Freedom. You can pick them up in the railroad instead. But I guess because he did out of sequence, it makes sense to do that. You need 6 ceramic. Each coffee cup gives you 1. You need those for 6 generators that you build for the teleporter. Tomato's doing the standard strat, pipe pistol in the corner, COC. Not using a mine. Punch warp. He's going to talk to Des, and then after he talks to Des, he's going to talk to Deacon, which is the usual strat, I believe. And Deacon will talk about how well the mission went. The prototype one. Which, he definitely did that mission. Okay, so what's Jin doing now? Ah, yeah. You see, Jin's just realised that he hasn't joined the railroad, I believe. Like, you can see there, Tradecraft meet Deacon near the old North Church. What you need to do is go to the railroad and talk to Deacon and Des. What's he doing? So he's, oh wow, I think is he load warping? I'm not sure. Okay, now I'm really confused.
I think he's wondering what to do. He's asking support.
So I think he's confused. Like I don't think he realizes. See Tomato picking up some ceramic there. I think he's gonna get a, oh that railroad agent. Okay, hopefully Des doesn't lock up her. Or you want Des to say hand over the quarter ship. Nice. Okay, because otherwise then she starts talking about the switchboard. The mission you've just done is like massive time loss. You can still walk into her and get her to say here you go, but no, waste some time. Now he's gonna go in and out with that door to skip dialogue, just like in the memory den. And let's see what Jin's up to. Once Tomato's done, he's going to fast travel to Sanctuary, I believe, so he can build the teleporter. Oh no, he's not. Oh, I think he's so far behind. Yeah, so he's going to fast travel to Rocky Cave, then he gets the plans, then he goes to Railroad, then he builds a teleporter. So actually, no, he wasn't that far behind. Just going to refresh my streams.
Je me demandais si je vous reverrai un jour.
Je vous avais bien dit que j'y arriverai.
Désolé, après tout.
C'est pas vos oignons.
D'accord, je laisse. J'ai pour faire.
Oh, he's got Port Virgil.
Je veux des résultats. Pas des.
Speed running in terms of like actual speed. Double Port Virgil, nice. It's not really faster because you have to look for him. You want him right near the entrance really, but he doesn't love Port Virgil really. So are they neck and neck now? Are they both on the same sort of quests?
I think that I'm not sure.
I think they're neck and neck, to be honest. Because
with all the things that have been happening, I don't know if everything is fixed for Gingenia.
I can't remember. I wasn't watching. Oh no. Okay, so he's going to be behind now because he's doing the Lexington. He's doing the prototype skip again. I think he loaded a really early save just so he could redo that. You see Tomato, he's talking to Des now about the teleporter. She's going to tell him to talk to Tinker Tom to build the platform and then the rest of it. So now Gingenia is doing the split again for prototype. It's really unlucky for him. Feel sorry. Oh, so Tomato, I believe he just dropped, I assume he just dropped the military circuit board. The reason you do that is so that it doesn't get used for circuitry when you build the platform. Yeah, so there we go. He's dropping the circuit board. Because if it gets used for circuitry, well then you've lost it and you need to get another one. Which loses you quite a lot of time. There you go. Gingenia's using the prototype strat there. The punch warp, sorry. Tomato's going to go build the platform. He's going to fast travel to the railroad so we can talk to Tom, tell him he's built the platform. And then he's going to... Tom will tell him to build the rest of the teleporter, essentially. He's going to pick up the circuit board, though. He needs to remember to do that. Oh, Tinker Tom. Come on.
Fini la plateforme? Oui, c'est fait.
Sleepy Tom.
La plateforme est terminée. Merci.
See how long that took?
Yeah, that's a really unfortunate way to lose a few seconds.
Yeah. Because you've joined the railroad, you can fast travel out of the railroad HQ. That's quite useful. Normally you would have to load warp. And that becomes very useful in the Institute split. We'll talk about that when that happens. Okay, so now he's trying to do early Des. Normally, you build the teleporter, but Des isn't there yet. She has to physically walk across the entire map. But you can sort of advance the day-night cycle by just fast traveling to the Rocky Cave, which is like as far possible as you can get. And then you fast travel back to Sanctuary. So let's see if she's there. She is there, but she could still give the wrong dialogue. I doubt she will, but she still could. Settlement building there, just being really slow. It's not that bad, it isn't losing that much time. it's got enough resources. Sometimes you run out of rubber and you have to scrap tires and stuff like that. Okay, so he's got to connect everything up.
Excusez-moi.
Ah yeah, he ran out of copper, I believe, so he had to scrap whatever that thing was.
J'aime bien ce nom.
Okay, so now he's built it. He's going to quick save before he talks to Des.
D'accord.
Nice, so he's got the right dialogue there.
Yeah, so when building the teleporter, there are two resources that you can have a shortage of, which is rubber. You can solve that by scrapping rubber tires, and copper, which you can solve by scrapping the yellow workshop.
Yeah, he loots bone cutters earlier on in the run for copper. Right there, he's load warped while he was on the teleporter platform, so he can. Why do they do that? Actually, come to think of it, I guess it just skips a load of dialogue actually with Tinker Tom and Des and stuff like that. You load warp in the glowing sea. You can see the can chimes there. That means he's in Virgil's cave, and then it's going to switch. Watch the bottom. Now he's in the institute. So now he's going to run over to the terminal, put in the holotape he looted from Sturges, which will teleport in the Minutemen. But he's completing the quest with the railroad because the railroad is the one he built the teleporter for. Okay, so here's Preston's going to shoot him 3 times.
So
Can't shoot him anymore. Sorry, go on.
The load warp, after stepping in the teleporter, skips a pretty long cutscene actually.
Yeah. Okay, I believe.
So now he makes a hard save because we will need this door to load warp further.
Yes.
And this clip here, I discovered it a long time ago. You basically just need to sit on this chair and get back up, and it will put you out of bounds.
It's a pretty ridiculous glitch because all it is just sitting in a chair.
Yes. So here to make this jump, Tomato used Jet. Jet slows down time and allows you to jump faster due to the slow time. And with the Jet, you can actually make the jump to that door and take the door from behind.
Yeah. You can see he just did a cover slide in that big corridor. Oh, he's gonna go for the bucket. Gonna climb up the reactor, skip some walking. It's not any faster, I don't believe. Okay, now he's trying to put the. Oh wow, what is happening? Okay, there we go, we got it. While sustaining a lot of rads. Fortunately, Jin. Okay, so Jin's just got the teleporter plans now. That's really unfortunate that he didn't end up joining the railroad. Wow. Oh no, now he's entering the terminal. Did Tom just go to sleep then? That is classic Tom. Okay, so I believe Tomato just load warped on the institute door. Or at least he's trying to. You normally hear like a little crackle if it goes successfully. I mean, he's running, so I assume that worked. Now he's going to go on the teleporter. He's really close to the end now.
Yeah, so in the beginning of the run, we did a lot of load warps, but it was in the sewers. It was in the sewers and in Virgil's cave, which has like a long fading time, and that gives you a huge window to load warp. However, this institute door, you have a very little window to be able to load warp, and it can be very tricky to get it. And
I believe it's like a few frames.
Yes. There can be a lot of runs that die just because of that load warp.
So Todd Squad's in the lead here. Let's see. I just refreshed my stream, so. Okay, so Jin's built the platform. I don't know what possible ways Todd Squad could get behind here. Let me think. What's he got to do now?
There is, I think, just the last load warp that could possibly bring him behind. But the run is almost over for Tomato.
I don't think there's any. There's only one more load warp.
Yeah, I think that's it.
And Tomato tends to practice his load warps quite a lot. I mean, he could, I don't know, maybe spend a minute here looking for Tom. Oh no, he's used the Pit Boy. Oh, he's going to shoot Tom. Yep, that counts as speaking to Tom.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. Yeah. And so, I believe, what does he have to do now?
Just load warp and go in the teleporter, and then
And
press
just
the
not
button
crash.
and it's done. Yeah, just not crash. Would be really unfortunate to crash at this point.
I'm not sure what Jin's doing right now. He's grabbing resources, I presume for the teleporter. What's he missing?
I'm really confused about what's happening with Jin right
Well,
now.
Jin forgot to join the railroad, and I think he loaded a really early save in order to, I don't know, fix his mistake. I don't know if he knew exactly what went wrong, so he just loaded an early save. Now we've seen Tomato go inside the teleporter now. He's essentially almost finished. So,
Apparently Ginginia was missing aluminum.
oh, is that what it was? I don't even know where you can get aluminum in the railroad, apart from those trays. I think those trays are enough. Anyway, so he's at the mass. There we go. He's pressing the detonator, and when his reticle disappears, that'll be time.
And
I
I
believe-
think he got aluminum from Virgil's cave. Those aluminum cans that are like hanging from the ceiling.
Are those aluminum or tin? Because I think you get tin cans from them, which don't help you. They have steel instead.
I think it's aluminum.
Oh, fair enough. He's still building teleporter, and that's time for Todd Squad.
I can feel it wash over me. The heat, the force.
So congratulations, Todd Squad, finishing less than half a second of 3 hours and 30 minutes. Really close. Just
Yeah.
barely got to sub 3:30. Congratulations to all the runners.
Yeah, everybody did. Great. I mean, if you ask them, they probably won't say so, but there was no major catastrophes. Congratulations to everyone. All the commentators did a great job as well. Let's see where's Jin up to.
These loading screens are pretty long. I didn't remember that they were so long.
It depends which ones, because if it's a big level, it takes quite a while.
So Ginginia just entered the institute.
Yes.
We'll put the holotape in so that Preston comes. Shoot Preston 3 times, like Tomato did, to skip dialogue lines. And then he will receive the bomb that he will need to place on the generator.
I had no idea. I was actually behind on my old stream. Doesn't matter, I guess.
So again, Ginginia makes a hard save in front of us. He will need to load warp twice through this door. Then sits on the chair, gets back out, that puts you automatically out of bounds. Using jet while jumping so that he can cover more distance in the air, so that he can get behind this door and take it from behind.
Yep. And so
Then here he sets up the cover slide that he will use in like a few seconds to get through the tunnel.
That gets him through there. And then he basically just runs through here and runs to the reactor to plant the fusion bomb. Oh wow, that's in. That was unfortunate. I mean, I didn't lose that much time, but that was just classic. And so now he has to load warp on this door. The reason you do this is so that you can get out of the reactor nice and fast, straight up to where you need to be.
I didn't see the bomb being put on the generator or the reactor.
Oh, it doesn't. You don't actually need to physically see the bomb. As long as you press E and it says in the top left, the fusion. Like you can hear then. He did get the load warp.
Oh, okay.
Actually, doesn't necessarily mean he got it, but we'll soon find out. I'm pretty sure he did. Yeah. He's been teleported out. And he talks to
everything is fine.
Yep. And so he now needs to talk to Tinker Tom. He's going to load warp on, I assume, Diamond City. Then fast travel to the railroad.
And Tinker Tom can be like everywhere in the railroad. And when you have that like blue diamond from load warping out of the part where you have that blue diamond, it can be really tricky to see where he is. And you can actually lose quite some time by just not finding him and getting lost inside of the railroad.
Yeah, it's quite annoying. Although you can put up your Pip-Boy and toggle on the nuclear option in data.
Oh, I never thought of that.
Which, you know, it puts a little marker over him, which helps. Even so, it's annoying having the blue thing. Thank God that the blue thing doesn't go over your Pip-Boy. Or else
that would be really annoying.
Yeah.
C'est bon, Tom. Téléportez-nous.
Okay, so where's Jin up to? I think he's talking to Tom now. Oh no. Oh, whew. That was a close one. He did his little idle dialogue, but then he did the line that he actually wanted. So he's quick saving. He's going to load warp on the Institute door again. I believe he got that first load warp straight away, didn't he? Is that right?
Yes, he did.
Yeah. I mean, those load warps are really difficult. 3-frame gap, I believe. You'll know if he's got it because the big blue thing will be on his screen.
Yeah. And the good thing about this door is that you actually have...
Oh no.
A crash?
He just crashed.
Oh god.
Oh no. He still has the quick save.
On that load warp in the Institute, you can basically try twice without losing time. Because whether or not on the first try, if you get the load warp, well, except if you load the quick save, of course. But if you don't get it on the first try, you need to turn around and take the door, which you would need to do anyway if you got it.
Yeah, exactly. Nice, he's got it. There he comes into the teleporter. Victory shots. And that teleports him to the detonator, which is the final part of the run. And time is when his reticle disappears. RIP Institute. GG, Jin. No, congrats to everyone, really. As you can see there, the railroad agents, despite teleporting in the Minutemen, we complete it with the railroad, so they turn up.
Very, very good job to everybody involved, all 12 players. Great job. All hail the combatant from the blue team. Victor from the blue team, leave the arena now and rest. You've earned it. And that's about it for the whole relay. I guess we can thank everybody involved, all the commentators, Everybody from Todd Squad and Tunnel Snakes.
Wasn't the world
RPG Limit Break for letting me host it on the channel here.
It was the one I found myself in.
Twitch for allowing this to be on the front page.
My home. Ripped apart and put back together.
Really amazing stream. Everybody involved. Lots of months worth of work.
Cheat time, make us whole again.
A few hiccups, but it all came through in the end. Really good job. There was a 11-minute deficit. They were behind by 11 minutes. Then they pulled through.
This time, I'm ready.
Good job on the Todd Squad there. Thought the Tunnel Snakes had it. How about we do a good old-fashioned raid? You guys down for raiding? I know a marathon that is going on right now